Hi everyone, I am Junhao and I'm back with another video. Okay, this time I'm doing a Addmaths paper. Okay, my last few videos was me going through the maths trial paper, but now I'm back doing the Addmaths paper. Okay, this is the SBP trial 2025 that just finished recently. Okay, so Sekolah Asrama Penuh 2025, the satu, kertas satu, and it's the Addmaths paper lah. Okay, alright. So if you all want more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And also, if you want to gain early access to all my trial videos, you can join my member. All the link is in the description. Okay, so if you're interested to get early access, you can join my member lah. Okay, so I will start this video. Oh, before I start, actually a lot of students ask me to request me to do this paper. They all say like this paper is very difficult. Yeah, a lot of requests asking me to quickly go through this paper. Okay, so this video I will go through the paper one first lah. Next video will be paper two. Okay, let's start with question number one. Diagram one shows two sectors POQ and AOB with common center O. Let's double check. POQ is one sector, AOB with another sector with common center O. Yes. So both sector but different size. One sector is big size. This one is smaller a bit, but they both have the same center O. Okay. And also you can see the big sector, their radius will be OP and OQ lah. And then the small sector radius will be OA and OB. Okay. And so obvious lah, this one is from 5 chapter 1, the circular measure. Okay, now let's read here. Given that OA-AQ is 3:1, we can label this OA, the ratio is 3, and then the AQ is 1, so like that. And then arc length PQ is 14.2, so the PQ arc will be this line right here, and the length is 14.2 cm. So later we can use the length of arc formula lah, because they give you the arc, right? And then they say radius OA is 5 cm. So OA here is 5. Wait, but the ratio for here is 3, right? So that means I can find the AQ length also. Just take 5 divided 3. Because 3 portion is 5 cm. So one portion will be 5/3 lah. Yeah, just take 5 divided 3 to get one portion. Okay, the last one, last information, angle POQ and angle AOB is equal. Oh, POQ angle, this one, and AOB angle is the same, right? But sir, I thought you said both sectors same size. Okay, yes, they both, the angle is same, but the radius is not same. Yeah, you can see this sector, the radius is 5 plus 5/3 for the big sector. But for the small sector, the radius is only 5. Yeah, that's why this sector looks bigger. Okay, but the angle they are the same lah, just the radius only different. Okay, now we can do A. They want to find angle POQ, which is this angle right here. So we already have the radius of the big sector, which is 5 plus 5/3, and we have the arc, right? So to find the angle for this big arc, you can just use the formula S equals R theta. The S is 14.2, the radius will be 5 plus 5/3. You can quickly press that, you get 20/3. Okay, I prefer writing it in fraction lah, because in decimal it will be like infinite decimal place. So I don't like it that much. So I just write like this and then multiply with theta. And now you can just press 14.2 divide 20/3. But make sure you put bracket lah when you tekan. Okay, the calculator will automatically give you in radian. So it will be 2.13 rad. It means radian lah. So this is 2.13 radian. 2.13 radian. Okay, let's see the question. They want in radian or degree. Okay, they never said, right? They just said find POQ, but they never say in degree or radian. So, yeah, I can just leave it in radian like that. Yeah, so that's the answer. Okay. All right, now for B, find the arc length AB, which is this arc right here. So to find this arc, you use the arc formula again. But you need to have your radius and angle, and you both also have already. So I'll just write here arc AB, right? Or you want to write S also can, equals to R theta. The R for the small sector this time is only 5 times with 2.13 like that. And then you press this, you get 10.65 cm. Okay. Okay, let me just double check something with the calculator. Wait. Okay, this is correct. Okay, yeah, I get the same. So that's the answer. All right, now we can continue. Okay, what chapter is this? So I see arithmetic, so I know already it's Form 4, chapter 5. And it's under arithmetic progression. Okay, the first 3 terms of arithmetic progression are 5, -3, -11. Okay, what's the meaning of first 3 terms? It means the T1, the T2, and the T3. And when you're doing progression question, kalau dia ada bagi first 3 terms, you will straight away write down your A and D. Yeah, just straight away write it down. So I don't even care what the soalan says. I will just straight away write it down now. So the progression is 5, -3, -11. That's the first three terms. So you can get your A, your first term is 5, and then your D is -3 minus 5 is -8. Okay, if you take -11 minus -3, you get the same also lah. Okay, and then the first term is A, common difference is D. Okay, this is not important. And then soalan A, show that Sn is equals to 9n minus 4n square. Okay, soalan jenis show. So what is soalan jenis show? When you see this word show ataupun tunjukkan, so you see this word in any Addmaths paper, you know already it means you have to show them the working, and this will be the answer. Yeah, that's the answer. So what we have to do is you can either start from left hand side or want to start from right hand side also can, and then you slowly do until you get the. Let's say you start from left hand side, you slowly do until you get the right hand side lah. Okay, yeah. So this one we have will be our final answer. Okay, so you can see that they want you to show that Sn equals to 9n minus 4n squared. It means they want you to find Sn lah, right? But the other side we have to tak boleh tengok lah. The other side, that's the answer. Yeah, we have to show them our own working and make sure our own working will end up like this, right? Okay, so what we can do is use the Sn formula lah. So you remember the Sn formula yang kita hafal? It's n over 2 big bracket 2a plus n minus 1d. That's how you find Sn for arithmetic progression. Okay, this is the formula that we learned in this chapter. So we can just use this formula, but you will not have the n because they never give you the n, right? And also the answer is in terms of n. So you don't have to worry about the n. The n just place n saja. But the a and d you can masukkan. So the a is 5 plus n minus 1. That one tak ada. D -8 masukkan. Alright, now it becomes n over 2 big bracket 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, n minus 1 minus 8. You don't go and write n minus 9. Wrong. This one is not -1 minus 8. Dia kena times. So it should be -8 times n is -8n. -8 times -1 is +8. Like that. Ini baru betul. So now it becomes n over 2. Okay, number dengan number boleh buat. So 10 plus 8 is 18 minus 8n. And now you just have to expand. Right? Expand. So 18 times n over 2 means 18n divide 2. So it will be 9n. And then -8n kena times n over 2. -8n times n is -8n square. Divide 2 is -4n square. So that's the answer lah. And as you can see, it's already same with the final answer here. Okay, yeah, they asked us to show, so we already show, so we can just write the word shown. Okay, it means kita sudah berjaya tunjukkan bahawa Sn sama dengan ni lah. So that's all. Okay, B, calculate the value of n if Sn plus 765 equals 0. Yeah, this one easy ma. S3n. Okay, this one is the formula for Sn, right? So imagine finding S3n from here. Just sub the n with 3n lah. So it becomes 9 big bracket minus 4 big bracket square, right? Because that's the formula for Sn. 9n minus 4n square. But of course, you have to plus 765 equals 0, and the n you ganti with the 3n, right? Okay, I want to mention one thing. You can also do it like this. You can also use this formula. It means the a and d you sub 5 -8, and then the n here you sub 3n. Okay, but you end up the same as this also. Yeah, that's why I didn't do it like that. Faham kan? Yeah, because this formula actually come from this formula, right? So when you do the S3n, you want to use this formula also can, you want to use this formula also can. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the same. Because this come from this anyway. So yeah, it's up to you. But like this is the easy one lah. If I do like that. Okay, actually, I shouldn't open the bracket like this. Okay, you wait for me. So I shouldn't use the big bracket here. So it should be 9 small bracket minus 4 small bracket square, and then this is 3n, and then the big bracket should be here. Like that. Okay, so 9 times 3n is 27n minus, okay, this one you cannot times 4 first. You have to square first. So it will be 3n square, it will be 9n square with the bracket plus 765 equals 0. And then -4 times 9 will be -36n square, and then 27n, and then plus 765 equals 0. And you can see this is a quadratic lah, sebab ada square kan. So when you have quadratic and you have three terms like this, you have to susun jadi general form and then factorize using calculator. But I can see that my A is negative, so how can I make it positive? Move to the other side. 36n square, 27 pindah jadi minus 27n, plus 765 jadi minus 765, right? And now my 0 is on the left side. But boleh kecilkan, all these numbers can divide by 9. So divide by 9 will be 4n square minus 3n minus 85. Right. So before you factorize in your calculator, you always check make sure the depan is kena positive, and also check kalau boleh kecilkan, kena kecilkan. If can simplify, kena simplify. Okay, now you can press calculator and you end up with two answers lah. Okay, now 01 baris. press calculator, you get 5 and negative 17 over 4. And then there's one baris here yang you kosongkan. That one you have to write bracket lah. And then n minus 5. And then this one you kena pindah balik. 4 times n jadi 4n minus 17 pindah jadi plus 17. Okay. Okay, usually I write the equal 0 here. But for this case, I already write the 0 on the left side. So just write on the left side lah. That's all. Done. Right. Okay. Every time I end up with two answer, I'm always like suspicious one because ada dua jawapan, right? So I'm always suspicious when there's two answers. So because I'm suspicious because I don't know whether I should take both answer or I should reject the negative one or should I reject the negative answer or reject the positive answer? So it's like we don't know, right? So whenever I get two answer, I'm always suspicious. So what I will do is I will scroll up this question and try to take my n, substitute back into the soalan and see which one makes sense. So you can see n is actually this n, this n, this n. So tell me, can this n be negative? The answer is no, because n is the number of term, is a bilangan, bilangan, quantity. So quantity cannot have negative like that one. So now I know this one have to reject. So the only answer that makes sense is 5. So that's the answer, n equals 5. Okay. Okay, but the A and D can be negative. Yeah, the A and D can have fraction, can have negative. Because A is the first term, D is the difference. That one can have fraction, can have negative. Okay, but the N is the bilangan, the quantity, how many terms, right? So that one cannot negative lah. Okay, yeah, so that's all. Okay, now we are doing number 3. Okay, what chapter is this? Form 4, chapter 6 is the linear law. Okay, diagram 2a shows the graph of y equals fx. Let's check. Okay, this is a curve. Oh, they got give you a point here. It's 2, 0. Okay, I don't know what's the use of that, but it's okay. Let's keep reading. While diagram 2b shows a straight line graph obtained by plotting xy against 1 over x from y equals fx. Oh, there's another diagram, and it shows a straight line. Okay, I can see it's clearly a straight line, and it's actually obtained by plotting xy against 1 over x. Okay, but from y equals fx. Oh, from this one. Okay, so it means this straight line actually come from this curve, right? But when you convert a curve to a straight line, you have to modify the y-axis and the x-axis. That's why you can see the y-axis change from y to xy. And then this one, x change to 1 over x. So when you modify the y-axis and you modify the x-axis, you get a straight line. Okay, and they're going to give you a point yang passes through, and I'm sure this will be useful later on, right? And then soalan A says find the gradient of straight line in diagram 2b, means find the gradient of this line right here. Okay, so I want to ask you all, can I do like that? 6 minus 0 over 2 minus 2. Because the gradient formula is y minus y or x minus x, right? So can I do like that? 6 minus 0 or 2 minus 2? Cannot lah, mana boleh. This one is the point yang passes through curve. This is the point yang passes through straight line. Mana boleh buat macam tu? So what you have to do is, you have to choose 2 points that passes through the straight line. You cannot ambil point yang passes through curve, right? That means I have to convert this point so that it becomes the point on the straight line. But when you convert this, you have to modify the y-axis and the x-axis. It means this 2 is the x, this 0 is the y. But when you modify the y-axis, x-axis, it becomes xy and 1 over x. That means I have to get the value for xy and 1 over x to find out the corresponding point on this line, right? So when small x equals to 2 and the small y equals 0, I'm trying to find the xy and the 1 over x. So let's try to find it here. Xy equals something, and then 1 over x equals something. So the xy will be 2 times 0, that would be 0. 1 over x will be 1 over 2. It means the point is 1 over 2, 0. Bukan 0, 1 over 2, 1 over 2, 0, because the x-axis is 1 over x. So that means there's another, this point when I convert to the straight line, it will be 1 over 2, 0. And you know 1 over 2, 0 is the x-intercept, because the y coordinate is 0. So it will be here lah. So now you can find the gradient. Okay. All right. I want to explain using another way. Do you remember when you do paper 2 linear law? Paper 2 linear law. Paper 2, when you do linear law, you remember they will ask you to draw graph, right? And then they will give you a table in the soalan one, and usually it's xy like that, and then they give you the table. Paper 2, and then usually you will draw your own table. You'll draw a new table. Do you agree? Yeah, if you're facing SPM, you should know this. For paper 2, so when linear question, they will give you xy, but then they will have to draw a new table one. And then maybe the xy have to modify, maybe become 1 over x log y or something like that, or maybe become y square or xy, whatever lah. So Yeah, the main point here is you have to do a new table and modify the x-axis, y-axis, right? And what you will do is you take all this value and then you press calculator, sub into the 1 over x log y, and then get the new value like that, right? Yeah, that's what I'm doing here basically. It's the same step. This 20 is it comes from the original table. Yeah, the 20 comes from original table. But since I want to draw the straight line, I will convert the new table. That's why I have to tekan the 1 over x log y, or in this case is 1 over x xy like that. And then after getting that, then only I can plot the graph, right? Same thing lah, same thing lah. This is what I'm doing also for this question. That is why I take the 20, which is the point from the graph. I find out the 1 over x and xy value to get the point on the straight line. Okay, now you can find gradient. Y minus y is 6 minus 0. And then x minus x is 2 minus 1 over 2. And then this will be 6. 2 minus 1 over 2 is just 3 over 2. And then this is 4. So the gradient of line is 4. Okay, now I'm done. Now we can do B. Find the equation of curve in diagram 2A. Oh, they want equation of curve, huh? I think you have to find equation of straight line first. Yeah, you have to find equation of straight line and then jadikan y single. And then jadikan y single, then you get your equation of curve already, right? Because you can't find the equation of curve directly. Not enough information, yeah. So I'm gonna start by finding the equation of straight line first. It means and whenever you find equation of straight line, it's always y equals mx plus c, right? Okay, but the y and x have to use huruf besar, eh? Yeah. Okay, so the y and x you already know already. The big Y will be xy later, and then the big X will be 1 over x, right? But yang tu jangan letak dulu. Jangan letak dulu. You cari M and C dulu. Okay, I always tell my student the big Y, big X, don't put in first. That one last kali baru letak. Your main priority is cari M and C dulu. So the M have already. It's 4. Okay, yeah, it's 4. Because you find already just now. But the C is not 1 over 2, guys. Come on. This 1 over 2 is the x-intercept. I'm looking for the C, which is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept, you have to extend the line baru nampak. You have to panjangkan this line. You have to panjangkan this line. This one. Ini baru dia punya C. Tapi sir, tak bagilah. Okay, yes, we don't know what is the C, right? Okay, we know it's negative, but we don't know the exact value of the C, right? It's okay. Kalau you guna mata tengok tak ada, apa you boleh buat? You can substitute any point yang passes through the line. So what I'll write here, I'll write PT. PT means passes through, and then I'll just choose any point that I want. Okay, but make sure the point that you choose passes through the line. So you can choose 1 or 2, 0 or 2, 6, and then just sub inside the big X and the big Y. Then you can find C already, right? Okay, so the big Y will be 6 equals to 4 bracket plus C, and then 2 like that, and then your C will be 6 minus 8 negative 2. So guys, you have to remember one thing. When you sub the 2, 6, make sure the 2, 6 you sub into the big X, big Y, not the small x, small y. Because sometimes student will make the careless mistake. Sometimes student, they will write the big X. Because maybe some student, they never write big X here. They already put in the 1 over X. The 1 over small x. So what they will do is when they sub this, they go and sub the x2, they go and write 1 over 2 here. Yeah, instead of writing 2, they write 1 over 2. Then it's wrong already. Okay. So you have to know something. The 2 is actually the whole 1 over x. So you cannot write 1 over 2. Okay, it's actually the whole 1 over x equals to 2. That is why I said just now, don't put in the y-axis and the x-axis first. Leave it as the big X, big Y first. So that when you sub, you never make that careless mistake. So this is how you should do it. Now only you masukkan. So now you can write already. The big Y will be xy, and then equals to 4, and then the big X will be 1 over x like that, and then plus C will be minus 2 like that. So there you have it. That's the equation of straight line. But they're asking for equation of curve, right? It's very simple. Just make the y single. Yeah. So make the y single. So what you do is xy equals, this one you can times, it become 4 over x minus 2. And if you want the y single, you have to pindah x jadi bahagi. So it becomes 4 over x squared minus 2 over x. And that's the answer. Yeah, that's your equation of curve, right? Okay, another way to write this is you can jadikan single fraction. Y equals, this one is over x, this one over x square. You can jadikan bawah sama x square, and then atas you have will be 4 minus 2x because this one you kena darab x, right? If you write like that, can also, okay? So this is how you find the equation of curve. All right, that's all. Okay, I'm gonna do number 4 now. So given that fx equals to negative x squared plus 6x minus 5. Okay, this is confirmed from 4. Chapter 2, quadratic functions. Okay, so now they says find the range of values of x such that fx smaller than 0. Okay, this is very easy. So find, okay, whenever you in Addmaths you see the word find range, it means confirm your answer will have the smaller or bigger or in between, yeah, something like that. Mesti ada one later because range mah. So your answer would have the smaller or bigger or in between. Okay, they want to find range of value of x such that fx is smaller than 0. So just take this whole thing smaller than 0 lah. Yeah, nothing much. So just take the whole thing, negative x squared plus 6x minus 5, smaller than 0. Because it says here fx lesser than 0. So now it becomes a quadratic inequality already, right? Yeah, it's this because it's quadratic, but it's inequality because the other smaller, right? And quadratic inequality, there's three methods you use to solve. First is the graph sketching method, graph sketch. Second method is the table method. And then third method is the number line lah, number line method. All right. Uh, I realized I because I did a lot of trial paper, so I'm aware of how they ask. So recently, they really like to ask the table method and the number line method. Yeah, I remember in the Terengganu paper, yeah, Terengganu paper I did, they actually asked for, I forgot table or number line, yeah. And then the SPM Sebenar for 2024 also, they asked for the table or number line, one of it. Yeah. So you all have to make sure you all know how to do this lah. Do using this method. But this question, they never say which method, right? So if they never say, I will just use the easy method, the graph sketching method. Okay. So how to do it? First, you have to find out the x first. And before you press calculator, make sure depan ni tak ada negative. So how you do it? Just tukar tanda. Okay. But you have to tukar tanda for everyone lah. And tell me, when you tukar tanda, basically what you are doing is what? You are actually dividing with -1, right? So bahagi -1, bahagi -1, bahagi -1. And what happens to the 0? Bahagi -1 also. And do you know when you take the number on the right side, bahagi number, you have to terbalikkan this symbol, you know, right? So the smaller becomes bigger, like that. Now only you can press calculator and then get the two answers, right? So when you press calculator, you will get 1 and 5. And then now you write bracket, bracket, and you follow here lah. This one bigger 0, this one also bigger 0. And then here you write x minus 1, x minus 5, and then bigger 0. But this one have to write equal. This one cannot write bigger. If you write x bigger, 5 bigger 1, then wrong. This one you have to write equal, equal, and then now you have to do the graph sketching method. So you will sketch a graph like that. Okay, and then this one you put a small number, this one big number. So the small number is 1, the big number is 5. And then now you have to shade the region, right? Okay, if you want to shade the region, you have to tengok mana. You have to tengok baris yang ada bracket, bracket. So you can see bracket, bracket. Kalau bracket, bracket bigger, you have to lorek dua kawasan. Satu sini, satu sini. Lorek the telinga. Tapi kalau dia bracket, bracket smaller, then you have to lorek bawah sini lah. So that's why just now I have to that's why kalau ini depan negative, you have to make sure you remember to change it to positive lah. Because if you don't change, then you thought it's smaller, then you will lower it here already, then it's wrong already. Okay, so that's the answer. Now you can write the range. So the range of x will be x smaller than 1 or x bigger than 5. So that is the answer. Okay. All right, that's all for this question. Now we can continue. Okay, for part B, I will do it here. Okay, the equation of mx minus fx plus n equals 0. Okay, I feel like this one is related to the last question. Yes. So you can see how they write the question. They give you this one and then they give you A and B. It means both the A, B, you can use this fx to do it. So that means the mx minus fx, the fx I can put this in. So let's put it in negative x squared plus 6x minus 5. Of course, you have to put bracket lah. Because dia kena minus dengan 3 terms. And when you minus 3 terms, you must put a bracket. Okay. And then don't forget the plus n equals 0. Okay. And of course, I can susun jadi general form. But let's finish reading the question first. So the equation, okay, says that m and n are constant, alright, has roots alpha and beta. Okay, you will do Sopor method for this. When you see the word roots, okay, if you see the word two different roots, two equal roots, or no roots, you will do b squared minus 4ac. Okay, if you see two different roots, two equal roots, no roots in the question. But if they said roots, you will do Sopor. You will find out the sum of root product of root. Okay, so they say the roots is alpha and beta, but I will write it down here. Why I write so down is because later when I do Sopor, I have to make sure my equation in general form. So that's why all this empty space is for me to change to general form first. Okay, and then soalan number 1 says state alpha plus beta and alpha times beta in terms of m and n. It means they want you to find the sum of the roots and the product of roots lah. Okay, I'll write down the Sopor punya formula dulu. So the SOR is x1 plus x2 equals negative b over a. That's the formula. And then POR formula is x1 times x2 equals c over a. And then the last formula for Sopor is when you form equation, That's when you use x squared minus SOR x plus POR equals 0, right? Okay, but this third formula, we only use it when they ask us to form a new equation, right? Okay, but I don't think this one they ask for that. Even the question 2 also, they never ask to form equation, right? So yeah, we will not be using this formula this time. Okay, we will not be using this for because this question never asked for that. Alright, so let's continue from here. So first jadikan general form dulu lah. So mx, okay, when you minus with three terms, all the three terms have to tukar tanda. Negative negative become positive x squared, tukar tanda jadi minus 6x minus 5 jadi plus 5, and then plus n equals 0. But we want general form, so the x squared kena tulis dulu, and then the mx minus 6x you have to write next, right? But when you write general form, you need to be able to baca you punya ABC. So when the x ada dua, you cannot baca your B. So you have to factorize out the x like this. So it becomes m minus x, m minus 6. So later, what is your B? M minus 6. That's your B, yeah? And then plus 5 plus n equals 0. That means your A is 1, your B is m minus 6, and then your C is this whole thing, 5 plus n. Now it's general form already. So now you can write x1 equals alpha, x2 equals beta. Okay. Okay, now you do the SOPO. Okay, now you do the SOPO. Okay. Alright. SOR punya formula is x1 plus x2 equals negative b over a. So alpha plus beta equals negative b over a. And the b is m minus 6. The a is 1. Now what about the POR? X1 times x2 equals c over a. So alpha times beta equals c over a. And the c is 5 plus n. And the a is 1, like that. Right? So now you understand, right, why I changed to general form. Imagine if you don't change general form, how are you supposed to write this part? Makes sense, huh? Okay, now it becomes what? Alpha plus beta equals, okay, when you minus with bracket two terms, you have to tukar tanda for the two terms. So it becomes negative m plus 6. Okay, the over 1 tak payah tulis. And then now for alpha times beta will be 5 plus n over 1, which is 5 plus n. And that's the answer. Because they asked for alpha plus beta and alpha times beta in terms of m and n. This is the answer. Yeah, sudah siap. That's the answer. Okay, now I'm going to do question 2. Question 2. Okay, now it says the roots of the quadratic equation x squared. Oh, this is a new equation. Yeah, it's not same with the equation tadi. So this is a new equation comes in already. X squared plus px. Okay, I will change to general form. So I will bring the p8 here. So it becomes plus p minus 8. So later my c will be p minus 8. And then my a is 1, my b is p, and then my c is p minus 8. And then they say the roots is 2 alpha and 2 beta. Oh, they give you the roots for this equation. And since it's already general form, I can just write it below like this. x1 equals 2 alpha, x2 equals 2 beta. And then such that p is a constant. P is constant, okay. Express m in terms of n, means nak cari m single, and then your answer will have something n like that lah. Alright, so how to do this? I just do SOPO one more time lah. Just do this one plus this one equals negative b over a, and then this one times this one equals c over a, and then use these two information to continue. Okay, that's how you do it. Yeah, so they are not asking us to form equation, so we will never end up using this formula. All right, so let's go. What is the SOR? Okay, the SOR for this equation will not be same with this because it's different equation. Yeah, they are both different equation, and the roots also is not the same. Okay, so x1 plus x2 will be 2 alpha plus 2 beta equals negative b over a. That gives us negative bracket over bracket and then p over 1, like that. Okay, the 2 alpha plus 2 beta I cannot do because alpha and beta tak boleh tambah together, but I can use this to help me because we know that the alpha plus beta is negative m plus 6, so we can factor out the 2, and then you left with alpha plus beta. So I will just do fast sub macam tu lah, equals to negative p over 1 is negative p, and then 2 times negative m is negative 2m plus 2 times 6 is 12 equals negative p, right? Okay, nothing I can do much here. Now I will continue with the POR. Okay, for POR will be x1 times x2, so 2 alpha times 2 beta equals to c over a. C is p minus 8 lah. And then over a is over 1. Okay, 2 alpha times 2 beta is 4 alpha beta equals to p minus 8. And don't forget the alpha times beta we have here, 5 plus n. So you just sub inside like that, equals p minus 8. 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times n is 4n equals p minus 8, right? Wait, what the question wants? M in terms of n. It means they want your equation to be m equals to something n, right? M equals to something n. But there's one unknown yang tengah kacau sekarang. Can you tell me which unknown yang kacau sekarang? Look at both your equation. Which unknown kacau? I want to find m in terms of n. So M in terms of N. This one got M and P. This one got N and P. So siapa yang kacau? P yang kacau, right? Because I want M in terms of N, but the P is like is in the way. So what you can do is you can find P single from this equation, or this equation also can, and then sub to the other one, right? So I think I will just find P from here lah. So 20 plus 8 will be 28 plus 4N. And then what you do with the P here is just sub this inside lah. And the moment you sub, then the P gone already. So it becomes negative 2N plus 12 equals to negative. Okay, the P has two terms. So you have to be careful. The bracket have to be there. Because when you negative two terms, you have to change sign for both the two terms. So negative 28 minus 4N, and then negative 2M, oh, excuse me, plus 12. Okay, now I can just focus on finding M single. Negative 2M equals negative 28 minus 12 is negative 40 minus 4N. And then now you have to find M. So you just basically pindah the negative 2. It means you have to divide with negative 2 lah. Okay, negative 40 divided negative 2 is positive. Negative divided negative is also positive. 4N divided 2 is 2N. So the answer is 20 plus 2N. All right, that's it. That's all for this question. Okay, number 5. This is vector. So from 4 chapter 8. Okay, the coordinates of point A and point B are negative 4, 2, and M, 3M minus 1 respectively. So this is your point A. This is your point B. So Alan A state the value of magnitude of AO minus BO plus BA, and it's only 1 mark. All right. This is called magnitude, and they want to find AO minus BO plus BA. So what I'll do is I'll change the minus to plus. Yeah, we can change the minus to plus, but when you change to plus, the BO becomes OB. Yeah, because you learned before, right? For example, if I have vector A to C and it's 3A. So if AC is 3A, what is C to A? It will be negative 3A, right? Because opposite direction means you have to tukar tanda. So like that. That means the negative, I can bring it over. Wait, no. That means when you change the direction, you just tukar tanda lah. So BO, when you change the direction, change to opposite OB, yeah, just tukar tanda. And then plus BA. But sir, kenapa you tukar tanda? Kenapa you tukar jadi plus? Because I can potong. I can potong. That's why I change to plus. Yeah, because you see AO plus OB, you can cut the O. Yeah, AO plus OB is AB. And then what is OB plus BA? Can cut also the B. So it becomes AO plus OB plus BA. You just end up with magnitude of AA. Okay. So I repeat one more time. AO plus with OB plus with BA. Kalau plus dalam sama, you can cut. Yeah. So you left with magnitude of AA. Okay, the magnitude of AA would be 0 units. Okay, 0 units. Because what is the meaning of vector AA? It means, let's say this is point A and you never move. Yeah, you move from A to A. That means you never move. So what is the magnitude? What would be the panjang, the distance? It will be 0 unit lah. Yeah, because it's like you go from A to A. It means you tak gerak langsung. So the magnitude, the distance will just be 0. Yeah, so yeah, it's only worth 1 marks. All right, let's continue. B, using vectors triangle law, find magnitude of AB in terms of M. Okay, definitely, because the AB, they give you in coordinate, right? They give you the coordinate for AB. So definitely later it will be IJ one. It will be in terms of IJ and also M lah, because the soalan says already, right? Yeah, and also here there's M. Okay, so later your answer will be in terms of IJ and also M. Alright, mesti ada IJ and M. But what's the meaning of using vectors triangle law? It means they want you to do like that. AB equals to AO plus OB, like that. Okay. But of course, you can also do it fast. There's a faster way to do it, which is if you want to find AB magnitude, sorry, if you want to find AB vector and they give you both the AB coordinate, you can just take the B punya coordinate minus A punya coordinate. Yeah, because it's A to B. So A to B to B to B. So you take B minus A. If I say A to C, then C minus A. So you just take B minus A. So you just take M minus negative 4. That will be for the I. And then 3M minus 1 minus 2. That will be for the J. Okay. But since this question says has to use vector triangle law, then I cannot do like that. Because triangle law means you have to form a triangle. That is why go from A to B, it has to be go AO baru OB. Because when you go to O first, then only you can form a triangle. So it's like, let's say this is A, this is B, right? And this is the Cartesian plane, right? So you go from A to O first and then O to B to form a triangle. Okay. Yeah. So I'm doing it like that. All right. Tell me, if AB vector, you take B minus A, right? Then what if AO? Then you take O coordinate minus A. But the O coordinate will be 0, 0. Because that's the origin. So when you take origin O minus A, what happens is 0 minus negative 4. That will be 4. And then 0 minus 2, that will be negative 2. Okay. Okay, you can also write in IJ form. In IJ is 4I minus 2J lah. But I choose to write it in the bracket form. But it's the same lah, same thing. Okay, for OB will be separ minus separ. B minus O or O minus B? O to B ma, so it should be B minus O lah. So it should be M minus 0, which is M, and then 3M minus 1 minus 0 to 3M minus 1. Okay, and then you end up, the answer is 4 plus M, and then negative 2 plus 3M minus 1 will be 3M minus 1 minus 2 minus 3. Means you ambil I tambah I, J tambah J lah. I dengan I boleh buat, J dengan J boleh buat lah. So that's the answer. Okay, if you want to write in IJ also can. It will be 4 plus MI plus 3M minus 3J. Yeah, same thing. Can also. Okay, what if you use the first method I mentioned just now? You take the B coordinate minus A coordinate to find AB. Can also. Can also. You get the same answer. Yeah. But they said use vector triangle law. That's why I never do it like that. All right. Hope you get it. Now I do see. It is given that the unit vector in direction of AB is 1 over 15 times of AB. So it means the magnitude is 15 lah. Yeah, so the unit vector is actually 1 over 15 times with AB. And this is the unit vector for AB also. So the unit vector is 1 over 15 AB. And I already have the AB. It's here, right? So I can find out the unit vector already. So it's 1 over 15 times with this, right? 4 plus M, 3M minus 3. But before I continue, I just want to mention the formula for unit vector is 1 over magnitude times with the vector in terms of IJ. That's the formula for unit vector. You just take 1 over magnitude times vector. So you can see they said 1 over 15 times with AB, right? It means this 15 is the magnitude. This 15 is actually the magnitude of AB. Yeah, that 15 is actually magnitude of AB. Okay, so they says determine the unit vector in direction of AB. Okay, let's calculate that. So just divide 15 lah. 4 plus M over 15. 3M minus 3 over 15. Yeah, that's all. That's the answer. Okay, that's the first part. And then second part says, hence find the value of M such that M is bigger than 0. So maybe later you have two answers. Maybe because they say M bigger than 0, right? Yeah, so maybe there will be a positive and negative answer and then you take the positive one. Okay, now I want to find M, right? Okay, there's two methods to find the value of M. First method, which I'm not going to do, is you can find the magnitude of this, which is the magnitude of AB, and then equals to 15. Because I told you, right, 15 is the magnitude of AB. Yeah, so you can just find the magnitude of AB, use the magnitude formula, find out the magnitude here equals to 15. Okay. Another way to do it is find the magnitude of this equals to 1. Because unit vector, this is the answer for unit vector. Unit vector, the magnitude is always 1. So you can just do like that. Magnitude equals to 1. But you have to find the magnitude of the unit vector. So the formula to find magnitude is square root bracket square plus bracket square. And inside the bracket, you have to put the number before ij. So it will be 4 plus m over 15, 3m minus 3 over 15. Okay? Alright, guys, if you all want to find the magnitude of this, can also. But make sure you equal 15 if you find the magnitude of this. Because this is not the unit vector. This is the AB vector. So the magnitude of AB is 15. Okay? But if you're finding the magnitude of unit vector, then equals to 1. So memorize this. Remember, unit vector dia punya magnitude selalu 1. Okay, and I'm sure you'll get two answers. Because they already said m has to be bigger than 0, right? Okay, so square root hantar dulu jadi square. And then 4 plus m square over 15, it will be... Okay, atas pun kena square, bawah pun kena square. 15 square is 225. And then 4 plus m square, okay, some student will make this mistake. They will just take the 4 square, it becomes 16. And then plus m square, they will just write like that. And then they thought finish already. They thought, oh, that's all. But actually, no. You have to take 4 plus m square like that. So the method is actually, okay, if you have a plus b square, it should be a square plus 2ab plus b square. So this should be what? 4 square, which is 16, and then 2 times a times b would be 4m times 2 would be 8m. And then baru tambah m square. This is the correct way. So let's do one more time. 15 square, 225. Okay, same thing. You cannot just take 3m square and then negative 3 square. Tak boleh, tak boleh. When you take 3m square, you get 9m square. That's correct. But you have to take 3m times negative 3 times 2 first. So 3m times negative 3 is negative 9m times 2 is negative 18m. And then baru ambil negative 3 square dapat 9. This is the correct way. Okay, now you can hilangkan fraction. How to hilangkan? This one is over 225, this one over 225, this one nothing. So you can take everything times 225. Get rid of the fraction. So when you times 225, this one cut already. So left is 16 plus 8m plus m square. And then plus with this one times 25 cut already, so left with 9m square minus 18m plus 9. And I don't think the bracket is important here because it's plus. Yeah, it's plus with three terms. If it's minus with three terms, then you better put the bracket. Okay, equals to 225. And then 1m square plus 9m square is just 10m square. And then 8m minus 8m is just negative 10m. 16 plus 9 is 25 minus, pindah here, minus 225 negative 200 equals 0. Okay, so you can use your calculator to help you for this part lah. Alright, we nampak ada square already, right? So when we see square, we know that it's a quadratic. And if it's a quadratic, you need to susun everything on one side equals 0 and then use calculator to key in the ABC and then factorize, right? So that is why I pindah the 200 here lah. Okay, so now you can factorize, but before you factorize, check for these two things. Make sure the A is positive and also make sure kalau boleh simplify, kena simplify dulu. So it's already positive, the A, but it boleh simplify. 10, 10, 200, they all can divide 10. So this one divide 10 is 1M, divide 10 is 20. And now you can press the calculator to get the M. Okay. Alright, so you just press the ABC, put it inside your calculator, and the calculator will give you two answers, negative 4 and 5. So this one is M plus 4. This one, the 5 pindah balik is M minus 5 equals 0. Alright, I get two answer again. So I start to, I'm like suspicious already, right? Because there's two answer. So what I will do, scroll up and double check and see whether I should reject or not, right? Sometimes you have to take both answer one. So let's go and double check. Alright, M is actually what? M is actually a number here and here and here and here and here. Now tell me, all these numbers is it possible for this number to be negative? The answer is yes, because this is the IJ punya, the number before IJ, and the number before IJ can be negative, right? But they already mentioned here the M must be bigger than 0. So they mentioned in the question already. So it means I have to reject the negative 4. So the only answer that is bigger than 0 is 5. So this is the final answer, M equals 5, right? So I have to write rejected here. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, now we are at question 6. What chapter? Coordinate geometry. Form 4, chapter 7, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Betul lah, 7. Okay, diagram 3 shows the position of MRT station and the house of 3 students, Ella, Side, and Jack, drawn on the Cartesian plane. Let's check. MRT, Side, Ella, Jack. Oh, but they never give us the MRT coordinate. But the house punya coordinate 3 sudah bagi. And then Ella's house, Side house, and the MRT station are located parallel to the road of AB. Wait, I don't understand. Ella's house, Side, and MRT, okay, are located parallel to road AB. So I think what it means here is, if you join the Ella, Side, MRT, you'll get a straight line. And the straight line will be parallel to AB. I think that's what they mean lah. Okay, let's read the BM one. Rumah Ella, Side, dan MRT terletak pada satu garis lurus. Yalah. Okay. Yang selari dengan jalan raya AB. Okay, ya, betul lah. Yeah. I think the English one, they never explain it well enough. Yeah. Because they just said these 3 points are parallel to road AB. They should say like, at least they say they are collinear. Okay. Okay lah, but whatever. Now I understand this. So this line is parallel. And tell me, if the two lines are parallel, it means the gradient will be what? The gradient for both these lines is same, right? And you can actually find the gradient of here because you have 2 points already, right? And then the gradient will be same with the AB lah. Okay, but let's see what the question one first. Okay, so for question A, I'll do it here. Given the distance of Ella's house is 3 times from Side house and 5 times from MRT, find the coordinates of MRT. Okay, distance of Ella 3 times from Side. Ella 3 times from Side. It means the ratio here is 3 lah. And then 5 times from MRT. So this is 5 lah. So this will be 2, right? So that means this one can erase already. Okay. Okay, so let's read one more time. Let's just double check. Distance of Ella house is 3 times from Side, but 5 times from MRT. So Ella is 3 times from Side, so here is 3. But it's 5 times from MRT, so 5 minus 3 is 2 lah. Okay. Alright, and then they find the coordinate of MRT station. So this is the MRT station. And we don't know this point, so we just call it XY for now. And we have to find the XY lah. Alright, what formula you will use to find this? We will use the point C formula. Okay, I call it the point C formula. But I just call it like that for student to easy to remember. So I call it the point C formula. Okay? Actually, the real name for this formula is called the divisor of line segment. Yeah, you use the divisor line segment punya formula. Okay. Okay, which is the point C formula. So how to find point C formula? Always jadikan the point in between the answer. So which one is the point in between? Negative 2, 2, right? That is the answer. That is the answer. Then what about yang hujung? Okay, that one you kena darab silang. You kena darab silang like that, like that. Okay. Always darab ratio yang jauh, eh. And then you buat bracket line, comma line like this, and then you will darab silang. So MRT times 3, which is x times 3, y times 3. So 3x, 3y. And then Ella times 2 will be 10 times 2, 8 times 2. So 10 times 2, 8 times 2. And then nothing in between means plus plus. And then bawah kena buat apa? Ratio tambah. So 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3. Done. Now we can just solve for this and then compare lah. Okay, negative 2, 2 equals to 3x plus 20 over 5. This will be 3y plus 16 over 5. And then compare kan dia, banding x coordinate dengan x coordinate like this. And then y coordinate 3y plus 16 over 5 equals to 2. Okay, how to find x? First pindah 5, negative 2 times 5, negative 10. And then minus 20 is negative 30, divided 3 is negative 10. And then y here is 2 times 5 first, 10 minus 16 is negative 6, divided 3 is negative 2. Right? But don't stop here. If you stop here, you will not get full mark. They're asking you to find coordinate of MRT. So when we write coordinate, you have to write the bracket. Okay, first you write MRT and then you write the bracket and then negative 10, comma, negative 2. That means this point right here is negative 10, negative 2. And it makes sense because it's at the bottom left corner, right? It's in negative 10, negative 2. Okay, so yeah, that's the answer. That's all. Okay, this is only worth 2 marks. So now let's do B. All right, B says a car move. Okay, when you see the word move, automatic is a locus question. And locus, we will use what formula to do? The distance formula. The distance formula. The square root bracket square plus bracket square, that one. So we will use the distance formula later. Yeah, because it's a locus question. So a car move along road AB such that it is always equidistant from Seeded house and Jack house. Oh, okay. So where's the car? The car is here. That's the car, right? Moves on the road AB, right? So moves on the road AB, but with condition. The condition is always equidistant from Seeded house and Jack house. Find the equation of the car path. So the car move with the condition that the distance to Seeded and the distance of Jack is always sama jarak, right? So at any point on the road, let's say you move until here, the distance from Seeded and Jack is still sama panjang. What if I move until here? The distance with Seeded house and Jarak is still same. Doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter which point on the road lah. It will always be equidistant with Seeded and Jack's house. That means this line, this AB line, is the perpendicular bisector. Yeah, it's the perpendicular bisector, and you are finding the equation of perpendicular bisector. Wait, what is perpendicular bisector? Okay, let me write the full name. Perpendicular bisector. Dalam bahasa Melayu, pembahagi dua sama serenjang. That means this AB line is actually, okay, if you join a line from Seeded to Jack, right? And then you find the middle, you find the midpoint, and you draw a 90-degree line, that's AB. That's the AB. I repeat one more time. If you join a line from Seeded to Jack, and then find out the midpoint of that line and draw a 90-degree, that would be the AB line. That's what it means. And you are finding that the equation of that line, which is called the perpendicular bisector, lah, right? So actually, you can also use this formula: y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1 to find the equation. But I will not do like that. Okay. Okay. But I will just mention it. If you want to do like that, you have to find a midpoint. Yeah, you have to find a midpoint to sub into the x1 y1. Because that's the point yang passes through, kan? And then for the gradient, you have to find the Seeded Jack punya gradient dulu, and then take -1 bahagi answer. Because when two lines are perpendicular, the hasil darab will be -1 for the gradient, right? Then you ganti and then buat lah. Itu cara yang lambat sikit lah. You want to do like that can also. But usually for locus question, I will just use the distance formula. Means ada dua cara lah. Yang tadi saya mention cara pertama. Now I will do the cara kedua. Okay. So the cara kedua is use distance formula. But before that, we will let our car, which is the moving point, jadikan XY dulu. Okay. Yeah, jadikan the moving point XY and then now use the distance formula. So tell me, you kena cari jarak mana? Jarak from car to Seeded and car to Jack. And then samakan dia. Okay. Because dia sentiasa sama kan. Itu syarat dia mah. Itu condition dia mah. So jarak apa? Kereta dengan Seeded sama dengan jarak kereta dengan Jack. So the distance formula is square root bracket square plus bracket square. Ni pun bracket square plus bracket square. Okay, for this side I need the car and the sidik punya coordinate. Okay, I'll just write down the coordinate here first. Negative 2, 2. And then the jack punya coordinate is 6, negative 14. So I'll just write here jack 6, negative 14. Okay, now we can just focus on finding the equation. Okay, so now for this side, I will find car and CD. So the formula, what I have to write inside bracket is x minus x. So it will be x minus negative 2, which is x plus 2. And then y minus 2. So y minus 2. Okay, now for the other side, I'll find car and jack punya distance. So x minus 6. And then y minus negative 14 will give you y plus 14. Okay, the square root, you can get rid of that. You just square both sides. Yeah, when you have square root on both sides, you want to hilangkan, just square both sides. Because when you square both sides, the square root and square will cancel out each other. And then now you just left with this. Okay, we have to expand this. So the way to expand is x square. And then x times 2 times 2, which is 4x. And then 2 square is 4. Same thing here, y square. And then y times negative 2, which is negative 2y times 2 is negative 4y. And then negative 2 square plus 4. For here also, x square. And then negative 6x times 2 is negative 12x plus 36. And then last one is y square plus 14y times 2 is 28y. And then 14 square is 196. Okay, now you reach here already. Now you have to susun everything on one side equals 0. Okay. Yeah, when you do locus question, you will always susun everything on one side equals 0. Yeah. Yeah, believe me, in the schema also like that one. Yeah, for locus lah, for moving, when you see the word move, if a locus question, they will always, in the schema, always susun everything equals 0. So it's better that you follow also, right? Okay, first we have to write x square, but x square minus x square is 0, so can cut. Y square minus y square also can cut. Now we have to write x. So 4x minus 12 pindah sana jadi plus 12. 4 plus 12 is 16x. And then now we have to write y, negative 4y plus 28y, which is negative 4 minus 28, negative 32y. And then the number here is 4 plus 4, which is 8. So now I can press calculator. 8 minus 36 minus 196. Because this one plus you bring over there, right? So it'll be negative. Okay, let me press. 8 minus 36 minus 196. Okay, my calculator give me negative 224. So that is the answer. But hold on. Why do I feel like I can kecilkan? Yes, I can kecilkan, right? Because all these are even numbers, so I can divide by 2. Okay, if I divide 2, I'll get 8, 16, 1, 0, 1, 1, 2. And then you can divide 2 again, right? Because they are still even number. So actually you can divide by 16 lah, guys. Yeah, you can divide by 16. All these numbers can divide by 16. So instead of dividing by 2, divide by 2 like that, very slow, right? Just straight away divide 16. So bagi 16 is x, bagi 16 is 2y, bagi 16 is minus 14 equals 0. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, you are supposed to write this down here lah, but I don't have enough space, so I continue here. Okay, okay, sudah siap. Okay, now we are at 7. This is Form 5, Chapter 3. Okay, we call this the integration chapter, pengambilan. Okay, this chapter, student tak suka one. Yeah, student very weak at this. I realize a lot of students, they always avoid this question. They always find it difficult. Okay, so it's a good practice lah. You all can do a lot practice and then try to improve. Okay, diagram 4 below shows the shaded region bounded by the straight line x equals fy and the curve x equals gy from y equals 2, y equals b. So let's double check what they say here. So they say the shaded region is bounded. Bounded means like in between lah, in between. Okay, so the shaded region is in between straight line. Okay, let's highlight this. Let's highlight this. So the in between the first line is the straight line. Okay, I'm gonna use yellow color. Okay, maybe not so. Okay, can lah. Okay, so x equals fy. So is this one, right? The straight line. That's the first line. And then in between straight line and the x equals gy curve. So this is the curve, right? Okay, like that. And then they say from y equals 2 to y equals b. So tell me, after highlighting these two lines, ada tak kawasan yang tertutup? Kawasan yang tertutup ataupun kawasan yang in between? So which is the region? Which one is the region between the straight line and the curve? This one lah. So it's true lah. The shaded region is bounded by straight line and the curve from y equals 2 to y equals b. So yeah, this is the region they're talking about. Okay, so okay, now we can continue. A. So scroll down a bit. All right. Given that the area of shaded region is 9/2 unit square, this region right here is 9/2 unit square. Okay, and then integrate 2 to b 2/3 gy dy equals to 12. Wait. this information, right? And then find value of integrate 2 to b fy dy. Okay, hold on. I feel like this will be important. So integrate 2 to b. Okay, the 203 you can bring it in front. Okay, gy dy equals 12 like that. And let me tell you why I move it to the front. Is because I know I can find out this region from the graph and then label the value here, right? That is why I bring it to the front so I can move it there. Yeah, so I can pin the 203 to the other side. That is why I'm doing it. So it becomes 12 times 3 divided 2 will be, wait, 18. Yeah, 18. Eh? So now that I know it's 18, now my job is to just find out the region. And if I can find out the region, I can label it. So where is integrate 2 to b gy dy? So what I have to do now is find out the gy and then find the area between the gy and the y-axis. Because if you dy means integrate towards y-axis. Okay, so where is the gy? The curve, right? But you integrate towards y-axis from 2 to b. So tell me, integrate curve to the y-axis from 2 to b. That means the region is referring is this one lah. And there is 18. Is 18. So the 18 is actually where? It's actually here, including the 9 over 2, of course. Including the 9 over 2, of course, right? So that means I can take 18 minus 9 over 2 to get the area here. And if you press calculator, 18 minus 9 over 2, you're gonna get 7 over 2. 27 over 2, see that? Yeah. So I can, it means the area of triangle is 27 over 2 lah. Okay. Okay, now we focus on what they want. Integrate 2 to b fy dy. Okay. Okay, let's find out where's the region they're talking about first. Integrate 2 to b fy dy. Okay, use the same method. Dy means y-axis. Fy will be the straight line like this. But this one is 2, this one is b, right? So they want you to integrate the fy, which is integrate the straight line, towards y-axis from 2 to b. So towards y-axis from 2 to b. So it's talking the triangle lah, which is 27 over 2 lah. That's the answer lah. Okay. Yeah, 27 over 2. Okay. And also you have to double check. Sometimes you have to letak negative tau. Because sometimes when you integrate, you end up with a negative answer. Okay. Okay, but this one will be positive because you are using y-axis to integrate and the region is on the right side. So it will be positive. Okay. But if you're using y-axis and if your shaded region is on the left side, you have to letak negative here. Area memang tak ada negative. Tapi when you integrate, you sometimes will get negative one. Okay. That's why sometimes we have to moduluskan our answer to jadikan positive for the area lah. For the area. But for the integration answer, you sometimes get negative. That's why you have to be careful there. Okay. Kena check lah. Alright, but this one is positive. So that's all. Okay, B. Hence find the value of B if the d dy 3y square minus 12y over 2 equals fy. Okay, this kind of question you need to know something. Tak ada orang akan differentiate benda ni sendiri. Ya, tak ada orang buat macam tu kan. Okay. You always will use back information dari atas and then do it using shortcut one. Yeah, this one. So what's the meaning of this? D over dy, this one equals to this one. What's the meaning is when you differentiate this, you get this. That's what it means. Okay. Sekali lagi, differentiate yang ni, 3y square minus 12y over 2, you will dapat fy. So that's the meaning, right? But if you look at all this question, right? This question, everything is about integration. Everything is about integrate. But then suddenly this one differentiate. So we can convert the information, tukar supaya information kita jadi ada integrate. So what you can write, okay, if you integrate this, you become fy. That means you integrate fy, you dapat balik lah. So you can write it integrate fy dy. You dapat balik ni lah. 3y square minus 12y over 2. Okay. And my favorite way to explain this is I always tell students, you can pindah the d and the dy. So the d stands for differentiate. When you pindah sana, dia akan jadi integrate punya symbol. And then dy, dia duduk bawah. So bila dia hantar, dia duduk atas lah. Now, then this one tak payah tulis di. Sudah cut di. So integrate fy dy sama dengan ni. Macam tu lah. Like that, right? Okay, now, what they want to find? B tak ada B pun sini. So I think I have to refer atas lah. So mana ada B? Oh, B is this number. Okay, how? This one is integrate fy dy. Okay, let's find out any information that is related. Oh, this one lah. Right? Integrate fy dy. That's the A answer, right? 27 over 2. Integrate fy dy. Tapi ini dia ada number. Dia kameran tentu. Ataupun dia definite integral. Definite integral means when there's numbers here. Kameran tentu. So how do we use this to help us? All right, actually it's quite easy because if you want this to have number, if you want this to have the number 2 to be, here also you put the number lah. So it become 3y squared minus 12y over 2 and then 2 to b. Okay. Okay, I have one student she asked me this. She said, "Sir, bukan kena integrate ini dulu ah?" She asked me like that. She said like, "Sir, bukan kena integrate ni dulu baru boleh sub the B2." Okay, tak payah. Tak payah. This is already after integrate punya jawapan. You remember integrate fy dy is already equals to this, right? So you don't go and integrate one more time. No need. No need. You just put the 2b here and then the 2b you write it here and then it will be ready for the next part, which is you just sub inside. Okay? Okay, so now it becomes what? Wait, I want to find b, right? So okay, I already know this one equals to this. So I will sub this inside and then equal 27 over 2. Yeah. So it becomes 27. Yeah, because the left side is equals to this 27 over 2. So the left side is 27 over 2. And then on the right side, I will sub the b inside and then sub the 2 inside and then tengah-tengah minus. Okay, when you sub the b inside the y, it becomes 3b squared minus 12b over 2. And then when you sub the 2 inside, it becomes 2 squared, which is 4. 4 times 3 is 12 minus 12 times y is 12 times 2, 24 over 2 like that. So now it becomes 27 over 2 equals, wait. Okay, I will solve for this part first lah. Okay, so it will become, okay lah. 3b squared minus 12b over 2 minus 12 minus 24 is negative 12 divided 2 is negative 6. So it becomes plus 6 here, right? Okay, now I will try to get rid of the fraction. Okay, so how to get rid? Let's see. Everything times 2 lah. I do this because I want to hilangkan fraction. So times 2 is 27. Times 2 is 3b squared minus 12b. Because when you times 2, cut already. And then plus 6 times 2 is plus 12. And then nampak ada square, right? Okay, so other square. Kalau other square, have to susun everything on one side equals 0. So that it becomes general form and then you factorize using calculator lah. Okay, if I bring the 3b square here, it becomes negative. So I tak suka. So I will just leave it on the right side. 3b squared tulis dulu and then negative 12b and then the number will be 12 minus 27 negative 15. Okay, now we can factorize, but before factorizing you always have to check for these two things. Make sure your a is positive and make sure dia kalau boleh simplify dulu. Alright, the a is already positive. Now dia boleh simplify tak? Boleh. Everything can be right. 3 bahagi 3 b square bahagi 3 4b bahagi 3 5. Now baru you tekan calculator and then tulis dua jawapan lah. Alright, the answer is 5 and negative 1. And then the bracket here, okay, but the 0 is on this side lah. Okay, so the 5 pindah balik jadi p minus 5, minus 1 pindah balik jadi b plus 1. Okay, now your b has two answers, right? And I told you, whenever I get two answers, I will always be very suspicious one because I don't know which one to reject. Should I reject the positive one or the negative one? Or should I take both answer, right? So how to know? Just scroll up and then double check. Just take the b, try to sub inside the diagram or the information and see which one makes sense lah. So as you can see from the diagram, b is a number here which is above the x-axis and this is 2. So of course the number has to be positive and it has to be bigger than 2 lah. So which answer satisfy that condition? 5. Negative 1 have to reject because tak logic. Okay, because this number is higher than 2, higher than 0 also. So 5 lah. 5 is the only answer. Okay, so that's how you should double confirm which one to reject. Okay, that's all. Okay, number 8. What chapter is this? Form 5, chapter 4. It's called permutation and combination. Pilih atur gabungan. Okay, diagram 5 shows the seat reservation interface of an express bus traveling from Banting to Ipoh. Okay, let's observe the diagram. Oh, this one is the reservation for bus lah. Yeah, when you reserve using your phone. Yeah, what's the website? Red Bus. Red Bus. There's one more, the yellow color app. I forgot what's the name. Okay lah, whatever lah. So it's like when you open the app and then it's like you want to book and then this is how it looks like, right? Okay. The express bus has 17 seats. Okay, let's check whether the other tipu tak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, betul lah. Ada 17. Okay, so they never lie to us here. And then 5 seats in the back row. Okay, back row ada 5. Let's check 1, 2, 3. Oh, ada 5 row. And then while the remaining two rows each have 2 seats on the left, 2 seats on the right. Okay, so remaining row has 2 seats on the left, 2 seats on the right. Okay, okay, okay. So far so good. All right, I understand everything. Now here, Kayet who is not married. Wait, why they mention about his status about married? Okay, tak apa. Not married, wants to reserve 10 seats. Okay, for his family members, including himself. So including him, there's 10 seats. So he's trying to book for 10 seats, including him. Okay, A. Determine the number of possible arrangements if 5 members of Kayet's family must sit in the back row and the other 5 can occupy the remaining seats. Okay, so I have to calculate separately, right? So for the back row, I have to calculate separately, and then for the remaining, I calculate separately, and then times lah. Okay, you have 10 members. You're trying to buy 10 tickets, right? But they said the condition here is 5 of the members must sit in the back row, but they never say which 5. They never specifically said, oh, Kayet and the brother and the sister and the father and the mother has to sit. No, they never say that. It can be any 5 of it. That doesn't matter siapa lah. So I can just go 10p5 lah. Yeah, I'll just do 10p5. From the 10, I choose 5. In other words, there will be 10 option when you're choosing this, 9 option when you're choosing this, 8 here, 7 here, 6 here, and then times everything. Okay, but for this you just write 10p5 lah. It's the same thing. Okay, what about the remaining seats? Okay, after choosing 5 to sit at the back row, you left with 5, right? But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the 12 here, the 12 here, you can choose the remaining 5 to sit. But they can sit separately for the remaining 5 because they just say the other 5 will just occupy the remaining seats. So the 5 can sit like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can also separate also can. They never say must together or what. So just do like that, right? Okay, when you press this, you will get a very big number. So that's the answer. 2874 009600. Okay, that's your A answer. Okay. All right, that's all. Okay, B pula. Kayet's family consists of 4 single individual and 6 members from 3 married couple. Okay, I remember just now they said Kayet has 10 members, right? So now they says consists of 4 single and 6 other member which is married. Okay, so I think I will just let the single become A, B, C, D lah. Yeah, so I'll just write here for the single people, you have A, B, C, D. And this is including Kayet lah, because I remember Kayet is not married, right? Yeah, they mentioned it here actually. Kayet who is not married. So A, B, C, D, 4 single people, and then 6 members from 3 married couple. So let's write down the married couple. I can jadikan the E lah. Okay, E, F. But we have to group them up because it's like they are married couple. And also later maybe the condition is like maybe the married couple have to be sitting together or whatever, right? So I think it's better I group them up because to how to say to know that they are one couple lah. And then G and H, that one also have to group up because there's another couple. And then I and J, that's 3 couples, right? 3 couples but 6 members. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, like that, right? So in total got 10 lah. In total got 10. Now it says the express bus company gives 5 return trip tickets to Bunting with discount. So determine the number of ways to choose 5 members to receive the tickets with condition a married couple must be chosen. Okay, the keyword here is chosen. So when you're trying to choose tickets, we don't care about the order. We don't care about the arrangement. That means we will use C, combination. Tadi saya guna P sebab saya nak arrange, saya nak susun. So the order is important. Tapi sekarang kita guna C, right? Okay, so how to do? Okay, let's read one more time the condition. A married couple must be chosen. Okay, but there's 5 tickets. Yeah, so it's trying to give 5 tickets, but 1 married couple must be chosen. That means out of the 5, 2 of the tickets should belong to a couple. But they say 1 only, 1 couple must be chosen. Dia tak ada cakap less than 1 or more than 1 or at least at most, tak ada. They just 1 married couple, a married couple. So a married couple lah. So you have 3 married couple. So a married couple means 3C1. But you have to know something. Because out of these 3, when you choose 1 to get the tickets, you actually already minus with 2 already. Because 1 couple ada 2 orang. So 1 ticket is only for 1 person. So when you choose 1 couple, you have to minus 2. So left with 3 tickets. And then these 3 tickets you can continue choosing for the rest, right? Okay, let's assume that the EF, this couple gets chosen. assume this couple get chosen. Now you have 3 tickets left. You can choose this one, right? But guess what? When you choose this, you cannot do GH. You cannot do GH because you cannot take like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you do 8C3 like that. Cannot. Because if you do like that, then it's like you might end up with two couple. You found you might end up with two couple because there's already said can only have one married couple. So what I will do is I will pecahkan the option lah. I will pecahkan the option. It means I will do one by one and then pecahkan the option. So the first case is what? First case is choose one couple to win, and then the second couple I will only choose one from here. It means from this couple I will only choose one. I will only choose one. So the three now left with 2 tickets, and then the 2 tickets here also I choose one person. Here also I choose from the other couple. You know why cannot choose two? Because if you choose two from here, then later it becomes two couple already. Because this couple is already chosen already, so you cannot choose another couple. That's why it's 2C1, 2C1, right? So you minus one again, left with one, right? Okay, the remaining one, the one you can choose from the single one. So it'll be 4C1 like that, and then times equals, right? Now, you can also do 3C1 times with what? Same thing, assuming this one win, you can also go 2C0 here, right? Yeah, you can also go 2C0. It means both the GH, both also I never choose, right? And then here I will do 2C1. I cannot do 2C2. I already say cannot really. Because if I do 2C2, that means the whole couple got chosen. And I can only have one couple. You cannot have two couple. So cannot do 2C2. Okay, so understand, huh? So again, 3C1 and then 2C0 because that's the second case. And then this one 2C1. But if you do like that, left with how many people? Okay, at first at 5. When you do 3C1, you have to minus 2 because you already give out 2 ticket, left with 3. And then out of the 3, okay, this one you 2C0. That means you no need to minus. And then from this couple you choose one, so minus 1, you left with 2. So left with 2 means the single 4 people you choose 2, choose another 2 lah, like that, right? Okay, ada lagi 3C1. And but this time the GH this time I choose 1. This one I choose 1, but this one I choose 0. Okay, and then 4C2 also, like that. Okay, but cannot do 2C2. I already said. Okay, there's one more option, which is dual. These two also I choose 0. So 3C1 equals to what? 2C0 times 2C0. It means dua-dua pun tak, dua-dua couple ni pun langsung tak ada orang lah. That means you have how many person? At first as 5. 3C1 you have to minus 2 because when you choose one couple you will give out 2 tickets, so left with 3, and then the 3 automatic you choose from the single, so 4C3 like that, right? So these are all the option if you want it to have only a one married couple. If you want only one married couple, it's like this lah. Okay, and then the rest, these are all the options. Okay. Okay, so now it's time to calculate all this and then tambah semua. Okay, all right. So the first one you get 48, this one you get 36, this one you get 36, this one you get 12. Okay, yeah, you just use your calculator. So this one, when you add everything, you get 132. So yeah, that's the answer. All right. Okay, I'm gonna do number 9. What chapter? Form 5, chapter 5. This is called the probability distribution chapter. Dalam bahasa Melayu, taburan kebarangkalian. Okay, taburan kebarangkalian ada dua part, binomial and normal. Kalau binomial, tak payah guna z-score table, tak payah guna jadual. Tapi kalau normal, you might end up using the z-score table lah. Alright, let's read the question. Diagram 6 shows a normal. So you see the word normal, you know it's z-score. So nanti maybe kena guna itu z-score table lah. If they want to find probability and give you the x value, then yeah, you have to use the z-score table. Okay, now it says for random variable x. Okay, this one is supposed to be like wave like that. Okay, and then n and then mean 25. Alright, what does it mean when they write in this notation? It means this is the mean and this is the variance. The 25 is the variance, not the standard deviation, guys. So this is the variance, right? But what if one day I write b? What if the notation is like this, xb? Then this will be the n, this will be the p. Okay, because b stands for binomial. So they'll give the np, and then you can find the q also. Just take 1 minus p. Okay? Itu kalau b lah. Okay? And then there's another one where they give you z. Okay, if they give you z, Same thing, this is mean variance, but it will automatically be 0, 1. Yeah, because kalau dia Z means it's already standardized. Means the mean is 0, standard deviation is 1. But if standard deviation 1, the variance is also 1 lah. Like that. Itu kalau Zn, right? Okay, so now you know this already. So now you know the variance 25. Okay, now this is A1, state the value of mean and the standard deviation. Okay, for the mean, if I refer here, I will not get it because the mean they never put in the value here. But from the diagram, you can see it, the mean is 15. Yeah, because the axis of symmetry cut the x-axis at 15, so the mean is always that's the mean lah. Okay, the axis of symmetry potong x punya tempat itu you punya mean. Now for the standard deviation, that will be 5 because that one I tengok dari sini lah, because the variance is 25 mah, so the standard deviation is 5, right? Okay, part 2. So the part 2 says on diagram 6, sketch a different normal distribution graph if the value of mean is kept constant and the value of standard deviation becomes larger. Oh, so question 2, they actually want you to sketch on this diagram. Okay, so they want you to draw a different normal graph. If the mean kept constant, that means the new bell shape, the axis of symmetry is still at 15 for the new bell shape. Okay, but the standard deviation becomes larger. Okay, all right, mean will be at the axis of symmetry of the bell shape. Okay, always the axis of symmetry, that's the mean, right? And then standard deviation will control the width of the curve, because when your standard deviation becomes larger, what does it mean? It means your dispersion is wider. That means you less consistent. Less consistent means dia lagi serak. Dia lagi serak means less consistent lah. So it will have a wider dispersion. So the curve will become wider. Okay. But if your standard deviation becomes smaller, that means you are more consistent. More consistent means you the width of the curve have to decrease lah, because you're more consistent. You are more center, like that, right? Okay, so I'll tell you now how to draw. You have to draw the new graph will be wider lah, will be wider, and this point right here will become lower, right? So first you have to turunkan point ni. Okay, let's say I turun until here, and then draw a curve that is wider than this, right? So you can do something like this. Yeah. Okay, let me draw. Oh. Okay, let me draw one more time. So like that. Just make sure it's wider. So tak payah perfect sangat. So just make sure the curve here is much more dispersed wider lah. Dia lagi serak. Okay, dia lagi serak. Because the standard deviation become larger mah, right? So standard become larger, this point will turun, and then it will be much more wider. It will disperse wider. Okay, hopefully you understand. That's how you should do it. Okay, now we can continue. Okay, so this number 2 finished here. Okay, number 2 done. Now let's go down. All right, B. Diagram 7 shows the standard. Oh, standard. Okay, automatic standard means Z, normal distribution graph. It means the mean is 0. So Z and mean is 0, standard deviation is 1. This one is variance. Okay, but the variance is 1 lah. Standard deviation is also 1, variance is also 1. Remember I told you here just now? This one, right? Z. That's how we write the notation for kalau dia standard normal distribution. So mean variance 0, 1, like this. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, the vertical axis is already in between, and you see the mean is 0, because it's standard mah. Okay, on diagram 7, shade the region to represent P modulus Z smaller equals K. Okay, for this part, you have to shade the region. So there will be no working, just shading. Okay, just shading. So how do you shade? Okay, where do you find out the region for this? Modulus Z smaller K. Okay, when you see modulus Z smaller ataupun modulus Z bigger, means you have to find out K and negative K. So K will be positive K will be somewhere here, negative K will be somewhere here, and then join the line atas like that. And then now you have to shade where? Okay, kalau dia modulus Z smaller, you have to shade in between. But if it's modulus Z bigger, then you have to shade the other two sides lah. Okay, yeah. So that's done already. That's the answer. Okay, next part. Express P modulus Z smaller equals K, which is exactly the shaded region. But they want you to express the shaded region in terms of M. If PZ bigger than K is M over 4. Oh, easy lah this one. So I want to express P modulus Z smaller equals K. But we all know this one is actually in between negative K and K, right? Okay. Oh, by the way, this line is not important, the equal. For normal distribution, this line not important. You want to letak also can, tak nak letak also can. Okay? Okay, to find the area of this shaded region, okay, or probability lah. Probability and area is the same thing. In this topic, probability and area is the same. So to find the area, or you can say the probability of this, you have to take 1 minus. Yeah, because the shaded region, that's how I teach my student. If the shaded region sudah potong the vertical axis, you have to take 1 minus. And then you have to 1 minus yang you tak mau. Because 1 is the total area for the whole thing. So minus the area that you don't want, which is this one and this one lah. So you have to minus with what? Pz smaller than negative k and minus with Pz bigger than k. Now you know that the smaller negative can change to bigger positive because yeah, if you're my student, you know about this. Because smaller negative, yeah, memang boleh tukar because they're symmetrical. So smaller negative, it will be same with bigger positive, right? And then PZ bigger than K, then this one M over 4 lah. Oh my god, so easy. SPM, oh my god. 1 minus M over minus M over like that lah. Okay, how to minus? Let me think. 1 minus M over 4 minus M over 4. Okay, I feel like I will do it differently. I'll just do like that. Negative M over 4, negative M over 4 means negative 1 over 4M minus 1 over 4M, right? So I can just press negative 1 over 4 minus 1 over 4, which is negative 2 over 4M lah, which is negative 1 over 2M, right? So that's the answer, 1 minus M over 2. Okay. Okay, that is all. Wait, is this correct? Macam salah aja. Wait, let me try something. Wait, wait. 1 over 4, 1 minus. Okay lah, correct lah. Yeah, that's the answer. Yep, correct already. Okay, so hope you understand. They say in terms of M, so this is in terms of M. All right, done. Okay, now we are at question number 10. Let's go. Table 1 shows the values of x for the equation y equals 1 minus 3 cos 2x. Give you a table here. A, complete the values of y in table 1. Okay, this is definitely from 5 chapter 6. From 5 chapter 6, all right? And this is under trigonometry, and they'll ask you to sketch graph. Okay, whenever I teach this kind of sketching trigo graph question, I will tell my students, first, you need to know the shape first. And I will ask them, all of them, to conteng dulu. Conteng dulu means you do a rough sketching first because you need to know the shape. Even if you know all the coordinates, let's say you plot all the points correctly, but if you don't know how to join, it's wrong also, right? Like some of you maybe join like that, but some of you maybe join like that. But which one is the correct one? Don't know. That's why you have to make sure you know the shape first. Okay, of course the point is also important, but that one you worry about it later. First, make sure you know the shape first. After you know the shape, then you cari points. After cari point, then you can sketch. Okay, and when I teach my student to cari point, I will ask them to ganti this one jadi 0, 1, negative 1. But for this question, I will not do like that because they already provide with their own table. So I will just use their own table to plot later. Okay, all right. Now I will do the first step now, which is to conteng dulu, because I need to know the shape of the graph before drawing it. I don't want to straight away go and plot the point, because even if I plot also, how am I supposed to know the shape later? Because I need to know how to join also the point. Okay, yeah, so I will draw the graph now. Okay, 1 minus 3 cos 2x. Can I do 1 minus 3 become negative 2 cos 2x like that? Cannot. Mana boleh? Because the 3 and the cos 2x, they are stick together. The one is times, so you cannot do 1 minus 3. So what I will tell my student to do always is bring the 1, write the 1 here, become plus 1. Okay, so what's the meaning now? Cos 2x means dual cos graph, 3 means the amplitude kena jadikan 3, and then negative means terbalikkan, and then plus 1 means the whole graph naik atas. Okay, so first thing, let's sketch for cos 2x first. Alright, if cos 1x, you know it's just one cos graph, but cos 2x will be two cos graph, and the cos graph have to start from 1. So you just draw a cos graph, and you draw another cos graph, and then you end at 2 pi. Okay, you end at 360. Okay, and then this will be 1, negative 1. But they put 3 here. That means they want the amplitude highest to be 3 and negative 3. After doing this, now the next step, negative. Negative here means diterbalikkan. The whole thing have to reflect. The whole thing have to move upside down. So it become, okay, I'll just draw a new one. So the whole thing upside down means bam. And then bam. right? And then of course for 2 pi also, and then this one is still -3, this one is 0, this one is 3, right? Okay, finally the last step is +1, right? So +1, okay, the way I teach my student is just take here and then bam, 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 and then tambah 1, 1, 4, 1, -2 like that, right? And when you +1, not only the maximum value, minimum value changes, also what change? The position of x-axis. Because when you add the whole graph move up, the x-axis will go down 1 unit. Because you can see the 0 is no longer here, it's actually somewhere here, right? But of course you have to erase the x-axis lah. Okay. Now you realize that your 90, the potongan is like changed already. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely not 90. Yeah, it's not 90. That's why I said after conteng you can cari point. Because after you get the coordinate, then only you can plot at the right place and then join lah. Okay, this is just a rough sketching. Now we can start to find the points. Okay, usually when I find the point myself, I will ask my student to ganti this 0, 1, -1, and then do all the working and then find out all the points like that. But I told you already, for this question, they got give us their own table. But why until 180 only? Because they only want you to sketch from 0 to 180. So we just follow them lah. And then we just use the angle that they give us here, right? So yeah, I think we just use the points from the table instead of using the point yang kita cari sendiri, just use here. Okay, so first I will sub the x 22.5, so your y will be negative cos big bracket 2x plus 1, right? And then this x you just sub the 22.5 and then you press calculator, right? So when you press, what you get? Negative 1.12. Okay, this is a sketching graph question. So you should write 2 decimal place because later you have to plot the points. So remember, for graph question, always write 2 decimal place lah. Alright, now sub the 45 times 2 is 90. So negative cos 90 plus 1. Negative 3 cos 90 plus 1. I forgot the 3 here. So what is negative 3 times cos 90 plus 1? Okay, my calculator give me 1, right? So just write 1. And then this one you just do the same lah. Okay, I don't want to waste your time, so I'll just straight away give you the answer. 3.12. And then this one also same, just take this sub inside. And then you will get 3.12 also. And then now is 1. This one is negative 1.12. Okay, this one nothing for me to teach. You just press calculator. Okay, this is only worth 1 mark. And then B. Using a scale, what? Scale of 2 cm to 22.5. Okay, the reason I'm surprised is because usually the sketching graph question, they will not bagi skala one. They will just ask you to sketch. It means you don't have to draw on the graph paper, just sketch. It means you don't have to follow the scala. But this one, they want you to use scala and then 2 cm to 1 on y-axis, draw the graph for this for the 0, 180. So, okay, they actually provide you with the graph paper. Okay, this doesn't happen always. Yeah. Usually Trigo, they will just ask you to sketch and then you just sketch in the answer space here. No graph paper, no square grid, just sketch like that. Usually lah in Addmaths. Okay, but this question they want you to sketch, draw in graph paper, then you draw in the graph paper lah. Okay, so first thing first, you know already the highest is 4, the lowest is -2. So when you draw your y-axis, okay, it says 2 cm to 1, right? So when you draw your y-axis, okay, the graph paper is like horizontal, right? Okay, I'm gonna draw vertically. Okay, I'm gonna draw vertically. Okay. So I'm just gonna start from here. Okay. If you wanna draw horizontally, you can draw horizontally, but I wanna draw vertically because uh, to make it easy lah. Alright, so this one is 4. But they say 1 unit, 1 unit, so 3, and then 2, and then 1, and then 0, and then -1, and then -2. Okay, something like that. And then this is your y-axis, right? And then for the x-axis, I will just at the 0 there, I will just extend the line. But until where? Until 180, right? But they say 22.5. So how? 22.5 plus 45. Okay, here is 90. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, ngam lah. Okay, yeah. Okay. Luckily it's enough space. So this one is X. So let's double check one more time. They want 2 cm to 22.5, right? Okay, if you look at the X table here, this one all plus 22.5. Yeah, you see, plus 22.5, plus 22.5 is 45. So everything here, yeah, just follow only. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can just follow 0 and then 22.5 45, and then 45, and then this one is 67.5, and then this one is 90, and then this one plus 22.5 is 112.5, and then plus 22.5 berapa? 135, and then this one is 157.5, and then this one is 180. Okay, you can use your calculator to help you. Yeah, just press plus 22.5 plus 22.5 like that. Okay. Okay. So let's just double check one more time. 67.5. Yeah, correct. Okay, now we are done with the axis. Now we can plot the points and then sketch the graph lah. I mean draw the graph. Sorry. Okay, sketch the point 0, -2. Let's go. Let's plot the point 0, -2. That is here. Done. Now for the next part, 22.5 -1.12. So -1.12. Okay, 22.5 is here. -1.12. Okay, -1 is here. If I turun satu kotak, it will be -1.1 because the difference here is 1. So 1 divide 10 is 0.1 lah. So it means satu kotak kecil is 0.1. So -1 turun satu is -1.1. Turun lagi is -1.2. But I want 1.12. Saya nak 1.12. So it's -1.1 turun sikit. So lebih kurang here lah. Okay. Alright, done with that. Now with the next one, 45.1. Okay, this one is quite easy lah, 45.1. So just here only, done. Now next one, 67.5, 3.12. Okay, 67.5 is here. And I already told you satu kotak is 0.1. So 3 naik satu is 3.1. And then naik sikit lah. 3.1 naik sikit. Naik satu naik sikit. Okay, what about 94? Okay, let's go. 94, which is here. Okay, now I'm done with that. Now we go to 112.5, 3.12. So 112.5 is here. 3.12 Okay, you can go until 3. Naik satu kotak 3.1. Tapi saya nak 3.12. So naik satu, naik lagi sikit lah. Okay, 135 pula. 1351. Alright, let's go. Okay, it's here. Okay, almost finished already. Let's go, let's go. 157.5, -1.12. So this is 157.5, -1.12. Okay, -1. Turun satu is -1.1. Then turun lagi sikit lah. Okay, and for the last one, I'm assuming it's -2. Yes, 180 -2. The reason I know is because I know the shape already. I already know it would just be a terbalik punya underwear. Terbalik punya course graph, right? So this is how it looks like lah. You just join and then you get the thing. But sir, I thought just now that you say got two graph. Okay, they already asked to draw until 180 ma. Yeah, because 2 pi is here, so you only draw half of it lah. That's why this part doesn't exist. Okay. This is why it's important to conteng dulu, because even if you get all the points correct, if you don't know how to join, it's useless also. Okay. Alright, so now it's just to join all the points lah. But make sure it has the shape is correct also. You don't just go and use ruler and then you join. No. Dia kena ada shape dia. So the curve. So make sure it has the curve shape. Okay. So the course graph will look. Oh my god. Alright, this will take some time. You have to wait for me. Oh my god, it's very difficult for me to draw. Okay, yeah, there should be like a bit of the curve here. Use freehand, for this part you have to use freehand. Okay, so like that. Okay lah, good enough lah. And then this one would be something like this. Okay, it's not perfect, but okay, if you all want to draw nicely, you all draw nicely lah. You all can spend time to make it nice in your own, okay, in your own paper. Okay, now we are done with the graph. Now we can just write the equation. Y equals 1 minus 3 cos 2x. So just write it there. 1 minus 3 cos 2x. And there you have it. That's the solution. That's the sketch. Okay, so the soalan asked us to sketch only. So that's all. So that's it. So draw for 180 only, right? So that's why it stops at 180. Okay, so that's it. Okay, number 11. What chapter? Form 4, chapter 3 is called System of Equation. Okay, this one got 3.1 and 3.2. And I feel like this question is 3.1. Okay, yeah, because it has 3 variables. 3.2 is when you only have 2 variables, but they will give you 2 equations, one linear and one non-linear. Okay, and then you have to factorize lah, apa semua tu lah. But if it's 3.2, you have to use the substitution method. You must use substitution. Okay, cannot use the elimination. Kalau dia 3.2. Okay, let's read. Table 2 shows the cost price and the market price per unit for three types of product X, Y, Z produced and marketed by a factory. Wait, what is cost price? What is market price? Okay, I always explain to my student, cost price is like the buying price or the amount you spend. The amount you spend to get it. Amount you spend. Okay? Market price is the amount you selling. Okay? So you spend this amount to get that product, but when you sell it, you sell this, right? So can you find a profit? Yes. Just take this one, the selling price minus the buying price. Okay. Okay, but let's not do that first. Let's see what they want. The total number of product produced is 2,100 units per month. Okay, I'm sure later you can write your first equation from here. But I'm not going to write it first because I still don't know what is my XYZ represents. So I'll just leave it for now. The monthly cost is 8,600. Okay, I'm sure I'll get my second equation from here. And then if the factory wants to obtain monthly profit, 2875, this will be your third equation. Find the minimum number of each type of product that he needs to be marketed. Okay, I'm done reading the whole question. So this is definitely from 4 chapter 3 and it's under 3.1. And you will have three variable x, y, z. Okay. Okay. It's very hard for us to write the equation when we don't know what the x, y, z represents. Okay. Of course, I know they got write x, y, z here, but they just put product, right? So usually I would tell my student to read what they want to find. Read the last baris. Baca last baris and tengok apa dia mau cari. Apa yang dia suruh cari, itulah you punya XYZ. So, what they want you to find, the minimum number of each type of product that needs to be marketed. So, that will be the XYZ. So, what I will do is I will let my X, Y, Z equals. So, X is the minimum number. Okay, try to be specific here. Mention about every single detail. So, it's the minimum number of each type of product. So, number of product X lah. And then this will be minimum number of product Y lah. And then this one will be minimum number of product Z lah. Okay. Okay, now you know that the XYZ represents minimum number of product. So it represents bilangan product. So now you can write your equation easily already. So remember they say total number of product is 2,100. That means X plus Y plus Z equals to 2,100 lah. Because this 2,100 is the number of product. But the monthly cost 8,600. Okay, this one you cannot write X plus Y plus Z 8,600 because X, Y, Z only represents the number of product, the bilangan product. And the 8,600 is the total cost. That means you have to multiply with the cost first. So this is the cost for one unit. So you have to times with X. So it'll be 3X plus with 4Y plus with 5Z equals to 8,600. Okay. And for the last equation will be this one, monthly profit. Okay. You cannot take 4x plus 5.55 plus 6.55z. Cannot. That's the selling price. This is the total profit. So I have to find out the profit by taking the selling price minus the cost. So you get 1, 5.5 times 4, 1.5, 6.5 minus 5, 1.5. So the total profit should be 1x plus 1.5y and then plus 1.5z. And that gives you the total profit 2875. Okay, now we can focus on finding the minimum number of each type of product, which is XYZ. Yeah. Alright, so now nothing important here already. So we can scroll down, then let's do the substitution method or the elimination method to get the XYZ. Alright, this is my equation 1. This is my equation 2, and this is my equation 3. So what method you want to use? Substitution also can, elimination also can, because the question never mentioned any method. But let's do substitution lah. Yeah, because I can jadikan X single here, right? And then nanti, okay, I'll just do it like that. So I'll do substitution. So first thing, I will write here from 1. And then I'll jadikan X single. So it'll be 2100 minus Y minus Z. Of course, you nak jadikan Y single also can, Z single also can, up to you. Okay, and then this will be, this will be called equation 4. Now I have to sub the 4 into 2. And then also later sub 4 into 3 lah. Okay. Yeah, that's how you do substitution. You jadikan dia single and then sub to the other equation. Okay, when you sub 4 into 2, you punya mata kena tengok equation 2. So, what is equation 2? 3x plus 4y plus 5z. Tapi you punya x sudah diganti dengan ni, so you kena letak bracket plus 4y plus 5z equals 8,600. But your x is already replaced with this 2100 minus y minus z. Right? And then on the other side, you have to do sub 4 into 3, right? You don't do sub 4 into 1. If you do sub 4 into 1, then it's very funny already. Because 4 come from 1. You tak boleh sub sendiri tau. You kena sub orang lain. So 4 come from 1. So 4 kena pergi 3. So dia jadi bracket. Because that's the x. And then plus 1.5y plus 1.5z equals 2875. And then for the x, 2100 minus y minus z. Okay, now continue here. 3 times 2100. This one is 6300. And then times negative y times negative z, it will be negative 3y minus 3z plus 4y plus 5z equals 8600. Okay, y dengan y boleh buat, z dengan z boleh buat. So negative 3y plus 4y is 1y, negative 3z plus 5z is plus 2z. And then the number I can bring to the right side. So 8600 minus 6300, it will be 2300. Okay, I will call this equation 5 now. Okay, now you cannot continue further already because you have two unknowns, so you are stuck here. So what you're gonna do is find another equation that has y and z and then do simultaneous, right? Okay, from here I can get it. Okay, the bracket I can actually remove it because there's no plus or minus before that, before the bracket. So I can just remove the bracket and then y dengan y boleh buat, z dengan z boleh buat. Negative y plus 1.5y will be 0.5y. Okay, and then z dengan z boleh buat negative 1z plus 1.5 1.5 minus 1, 0.5 also lah, 0.5z. And then 2875 minus 2100, that's gonna be 775. Okay, now I have my equation 6 already. Okay, now equation 5 and 6, you will move on to stage 2 lah. This is stage 1. Stage 1. So stage 1 done. Now you move on to stage 2. Okay, what is stage 2? Stage number 2 is you go and take 5 and 6 and then do simultaneous one more time lah. Okay, so what I will do now, I will go to stage 2. And for the stage 2, I will start from 5. Start from 5. Okay, I think I'll use the substitution method again. Yeah. Of course, you want to do elimination, penghapusan also can. But I prefer substitution because you can find the y from here. 2300 minus 2z. And I'll call this equation 7. And then the 7 ganti dalam 6 lah. So it's just sub 7 into 6. Substitute 7 into 6. Okay? So you punya mata tengok 6 and then 0.5y and then plus 0.5z equals to 775. And then y will be 2300 minus 2z. And you can find z already. So 0.5 times 2300, berapa ni? 1150. And then 0.5 times 2z, that's going to be minus 1z. And then plus with 0.5z equals to 775. Okay, negative 1 plus 0.5 will be, oh my god, negative 0.5z. Okay, and then 775 minus 1150, that's going to be negative 375. And then your z kena bahagi kan. So negative bahagi negative, positive. 375 bahagi 0.5, 750. Yeah. Alright, after finding z, I still have to find my x and y. So how to do that? Okay, you can sub into equation 7 first. Yeah, because equation 7 will help you get the y. So I'll just write here when z equals 750, my y will be 2300 minus 2 times z. Okay, times 750. Alright, what you get from here? You will get 800. Now, the next one is finding x. So how to find x? You can sub into equation 4 lah, this one. Right? So I'll just write here when y equals 800 and z equals 750. Yeah, because when you find x, you need your y and z, right? So your x will be 2100 minus y minus z. So my y will be 800, z is 750. Okay, so what is your x value? 550. Let me double check. Minus 800 minus 750. Yeah, betul. So that's the answer. Okay, I'm done. But you have to write something because the soalan asks for minimum number of each type of product. So I think I have to write one more baris and then write what? Minimum number of, how did I say it just now? Number of product X equals, and then minimum number of product Y equals, and then minimum number of product Z equals. And then baru tulis the XYZ. So 550, 800, 750. Okay, you don't have to write any units because this is just bilangan. So bilangan tak ada unit. Okay, you can write units lah, I guess. Because it's the bilangan product kan. So it's just units. This one also units, this one also units. Okay. Okay, remember to write like this for the final answer. Okay. Yeah. Because the soalan asks for minimum number, so you have to make sure your final answer should look like this. Alright, that's all. Okay, now we're entering question 12. Let's get it. What chapter is this? Form 4, chapter 4. Indices, surd, and logarithms. Because I see log here already. Okay, let's read the soalan. A technology company produces small processing chips that are placed in a special cube-shaped box. Okay, volume per chip is given by the following function: Vx equals to square root 2x. Okay, this dot means times. 5, where x is the number of hours the chip is operating in test mode. Okay, I understand. So actually, for this type of question where they give you a formula like that, you have to know what the formula is used to cari apa. You have to know this formula is about what? It's about finding what? So it's about finding volume. Okay. So what I will do is I will put the arrow and make sure I know this. You know clearly is to find volume. And if possible, write down the unit also. It will be better. Okay. So this formula is used to find the volume for one chip. Then what about the x? There they say already number of hours. So I'll just write here number of hours. So if I want to know the volume for 2 hours, then I'll just sub the x is 2, then tekan lah. Sub the x is 2 and then tekan this whole thing, then I will get the volume in mm cube. Okay. So now we know now we know that already. Now we can do one. Use the law of logarithm to express log Vx base 10. Okay, log 10 Vx in terms of ax plus b, like that, such that a and b are constant. It means they are asking you to find this. Yeah, they're asking you to find this. But you have to write your answer in this form. Okay, no problem. So let's find it. Log 10 Vx. How do you do that? Well, if the one they give here tak ada log punya. So if you want it to have log 10 here, then you just tambah log both sides lah. Yeah. Make sure you tambah 1 on the right hand side also. So it becomes log 10. And then whatever they write on the right hand side, you just write it here, which is square root 2 power x times 5. But hold on. Square root is what? Is power 1 over 2, right? So you write it like this, power 1 over 2. But sir, why you write it like this? Because they want our answer to be in this form, ax plus b. They don't want everything like that jumbled up together. They want it to be ax plus b. So definitely later we have to use the law of logarithm to separate this into two separate log. Ya, kita kena pecahkan jadi dua log yang separate. Kita kena pecahkan. That is why I'm how to say? I already know I will be using this formula, log a mn equals to log am plus log an. So I'm trying to move towards this. So later I can pecah. Okay, siapa yang kuasa 1 over 2? Both also. Both also kena power 1 over 2. So what is 2 power x power 1 over 2? It will be 2 power x over 2. Okay. And then multiply with 5 also power 1 over 2. So it's like that. And then here is still log 10 Vx lah. Okay, now for the now I can apply this. Now I can apply the law of logarithm. Okay, so log 10 Vx equals to single log times separate log plus. So it becomes log 10 2 power x over 2 plus log 10 5 power 1 over 2. But the power you can move it over here, and then same with this, the power can move it over here and then erase. Okay, I think I'm done, right? Oh, no. They want to write in this form, ax plus b. So let's arrange exactly the form they want. So how to arrange? Oh, they want the x to be like that. Okay, so I think I will push the x out. So it becomes 1 over 2 log 10 2. Then where the x go? You write here. Yeah, because when you write here means dia darab atas. So yeah, it's like that. And then what about this one? This one you just equal to 1 over 2 log 10 5. Okay, done. That's the answer. Yeah, this is the answer. Because this is already exactly in this form. You see, x, and then what is your a? It will be 1 over 2 log 2 lah. And then what is your b? It will be 1 over 2 log 5 lah. So everything is good really, right? Okay, another way to write this is you can also write it like this, x, and then the 1 over 2, you can become 2 power, wait, did I made a mistake? 1 over 2, you can pindah jadi power 1 over 2 also, right? Yeah, can also. So another way to write it is like this. The power you naik balik atas, and then power 1 over 2 is just square root. So this is another way to write it. log square root 2x plus log square root 5 to 10. But I don't think it's that important because the question never really, they just say right in this form, right? So it's not really important. Like uh yeah, this is not that important. Okay, so you can also naikkan atas jadi square root lah, but it's up to you. Okay, both works. Yeah. All right, that's all. Let's do question 2 pula. Okay, when the chip volume is 50, okay, means the Vx is 50 ah, right? Because volume ah. Okay. Find the number of chips produced in the operation. Means cari X lah. Betul lah. Okay, I think they made a mistake here. It should be find number of hours. Yeah, because you remember the X represents number of hours, right? So I think they made a mistake here. Bukan cari bilangan, cari berapa jam. Cari berapa jam. Find the number of hours. So how to do it? Oh, alright, you can just use. Okay, you can use this formula. Yeah, you can use this formula, or you can also use this formula. I mean this one. This one. You know why? Because this formula, it comes from this also. You remember how I get this? It actually comes from this one, right? I just tambah log both sides. So which one you want me to use? Okay, I think I'll just use the formula yang atas lah. So the Vx, I'll just start with 50 equals to square root 2 power x times 5 like that, right? And then you tambah log. Hey, wait, I feel like, okay lah, I'm regretting now. I think it's better I use this, right? Because I already know later kena tambah log, right? So why not I just use this one better. So it'll be log 10 Vx, but the Vx is 50, so 50 equals 1 over 2 log 2, which is log 10 square root 2. I mentioned already, right? This 1 over 2 can bring in front. Okay? And then times with x, okay. And then plus with log 10 square root 5. Okay, yeah. Okay, how to find x? Well, you can just use your calculator, ma. So log 10, 50. The plus here, move here, become minus. And then the times here become divide, log 10 square root 2. And since it's base 10, you can use calculator. Yeah, because it's base 10. So I'm just going to press everything in the calculator. So I'll press log base 10 and then 50 minus log base 10 and then square root 5. And then the whole thing, equal dulu lah. Wait. Okay. Okay, so minus dulu and then answer divide log square root 2. Okay, I got it. My calculator give me 8.96578. Okay, a lot of decimal place. So I'll just write 4 significant figure. So 8.966. Right? Okay, but let's double check what they want. Number of hours. So I'll just write here 8.966 hours. Okay, bukan minutes, bukan second, hours. This type of question you should always read carefully and label nicely. And if okay, kalau boleh write down the unit also, so that you are not confused. Okay, so I don't think you have to round off because hours dia memang boleh ada decimal kan. Kalau dia bilangan, then maybe you have to write 8 or 9, right? Maybe you kena bundarkan. But if it's hours, dia boleh ada decimal. Dia boleh ada decimal. Dia bukan bilangan. Okay, so I hope you get it. That's the answer. Alright, that's it. Okay, now we masuk B pula. Prove that A power ln B equals B power ln A. And then A has to be bigger than 0, B has to be bigger than 0. Okay, soalan jenis proof pula. Alright, how do you prove? Okay, if you want to prove this equals to this, what you have to do is you have to start from one side, any side you want, left hand side also can, right hand side also can. And then, let's say you start from left hand side, and then you jadikan the right hand side the answer lah. The right hand side will be the answer, okay? But I always tell my student, choose the side that is more complicated to start. So which side is more complicated? Well, actually they are both equally like almost same, right? So doesn't matter lah. Okay, I'll just start from this side. So I'll just write down left hand side. So I will start from A power ln B, and then I will try to equal so that it becomes the right hand side. Okay, I don't think I will write the LHS, right? Okay, so how do you change this so that it becomes this? I think first you have to let y equals to this first. Yeah, you have to let y equals to this first. And then you want to equals to this, right? So what you will do is you will tambah log both sides. Yeah, you will tambah log both sides. And usually when you tambah log, you have two choice, right? Well, actually you can, okay, when you tambah log both sides, you can tambah any base you want. But make sure if you use base 10, here also you use base 10 lah. If you use base 3, here also you use base 3, okay? But most of the time we will use base 10, but there are sometimes we will use base E. Usually we will use base E when there is the E symbol in the question, or maybe the ln symbol, because the ln stands for log base E, right? So tell me what base you will use for this. Of course, base E. Or you want to write ln also can. You want to write ln also can. If you write ln, it automatically means log base E already. Okay? Okay, so this is Y, and then this one is A power ln B. But the ln B is the power. So power can move it to the front. So it becomes log. Okay, now instead of writing log E, log base E, I will write ln already. So ln Y equals, okay, the power move front becomes ln B times with log EA, which is ln A. Okay. Okay, but I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get this. So let's think about this. I'm trying to move towards this. So, okay, I see it already. Okay, ln B times ln A, you can also write it as ln A times ln B because they are the same thing, right? 3 times 2, 2 times 3. Okay, same thing. Okay, now, what is ln Y? Okay, this one you can naik atas jadi power lah. Ya lah, because remember, kalau dia punya power boleh letak depan kan? That means kalau sini ada number, dia boleh letak atas also. So become ln B power ln A. And then, since both side has ln, you can cut the ln. So it become Y equals B power ln A. Right? Okay, actually, you bukan cut lah, you compare. Yeah, because you learned before, right? When you have log on both sides, and if they same base, let's say this one is AB, and then if you log same base, you can just compare, right? Just straight away write A equals B. But it has to be same base lah. So you can see this is same base on both sides. Log base E, log base E, single log, single log. That's why you can remove the ln. You left with this. And guess what? The Y is the A power ln B. And that's your A power ln B equals to B power ln A. Sudah sama. A power ln B equals B power ln A. So they said proof, right? So proven lah. Okay, sudah siap. Okey, bahagian B, bahagian ini mengandungi 3 soalan, jawab 2 soalan. Okay, but in this video, I will jawab all 3 lah. Okay. Okay, number 13, solution by listing method is not accepted. Okay, confirm progression. Because listing method, yeah, because if they mention about this listing, then it's automatic progression already. Okay, but they say they don't accept it lah. So we cannot do the listing method. Okay, for chapter 5, the progression chapter, the Janjang chapter. So I'm going to skip all this. All right, let's read. Ishraf and Hakim are 2 contestants that successfully reached the final stage of Bijak Mathematics competition organized by the Mathematics Society of SMK Cyber. Okay, nothing important here. Both contestants will go through 2 rounds in the competition. Oh, okay, ada 2 round. So it's like 2 finalists trying to compete who wins. And then you have 2 rounds. Each contestant is given a small whiteboard for them to write their final answer and show to the judges for evaluation before next question is given. Oh, okay. So it's like they both have a whiteboard and they will write the answer there. Allocation of mark for question given in the competition is as follows. So you have a table here. Okay, if you get a correct answer question, you get 3 points. And then this one, question correctly answered consecutively from previous correctly answered question. Wait, what? Soalan yang jawab betul berturutan dari soalan yang dijawab dengan betul. Oh, if you get 2 question correct in a row, you will get twice the point of previous correctly answered question. Oh, like that. So it means like if your previous question is correct and now also you correct, then you get double the marks for the next question. So let's think about this. If let's say question 1 I correct, okay, I jawab betul. And then question 2 also I get correct. So here I will get 3 marks. Then here I get 6 marks already because double ma. So total now I have 9 marks already. If I get 2 questions correctly, I mean the first 2 lah. The first 2 questions, if I get correct, I get 9 marks. Okay, okay. So that's the meaning lah. That's the meaning. Okay, now for the third one is what? If you get a wrong answered question, okay, just 0 marks lah. They will not tolak your marker. You will just get 0 marks for that question. Okay. And then the next one is correctly answered question if the previous one is wrong. Oh, if your previous one is wrong, then you will get 3 marks. But if the previous one is correct, you get twice the point of the previous answered question. Oh, so very weird, the rules is like that one. Okay. So wait, before moving on to the question, I think I can write the progression already, right? So let's imagine if our first question is correct, it will be 3, right? Then the next question, if I get it correct, it will be 6. because that's what it says. If you first correct, the next one will be twice the point of previous. Then this one, if the third one also correct, then it will be 6 times 2, 12, and keeps going. So the A is 3 and the R is 2. But this is only assuming if you betul semua lah, then only you follow this progression. If you betul semua, okay, but let's see A. In the first round, the contestant will answer 7 questions. Okay, so this is Q1, Q2. Q stands for question lah. So you until 7 question. Calculate number 1. Okay, the points obtained by Ishraf for the last question if he answer all the question correctly. He answer all the question correctly. Calculate the points obtained only for the last question. Only for the last question if we answer all correctly. So I think you just find T7 lah. Because all correct ma. And I told you right, this progression is assuming when you correct semua. So you're finding T7. Okay, why not S7? Okay, S7 will be the total marks he get. But the soalan asks for mata yang diperoleh untuk soalan terakhir sahaja. Only the points obtained for the last question only. Right? Not the total marks for everything. Okay, so the T7 and the formula is for Tn is, okay, you remember for geometric, AR power n minus 1. That's the formula. So this will be A, which is 3, times R, which is 2, power n minus 1 will be 7 minus 1, 6. Okay, now I will tekan 2 power 6 times 3 and I will get 192. That means the final question is worth 192 marks. If you correct all the previous 6 questions, then the 7th question will worth this mark. A lot. Okay, number 2. The total points obtained by Hakim if only his answer to the 6th question is wrong. This one they ask for total. So you have to use SN already, this one. Just confirm use SN because they're asking for total, right? But he got one question wrong. Oh my god. Why Hakim? Alright, so the 6th question he get it wrong. So Q1 get it correct, Q2 correct, Q3 correct, Q4 correct, Q5 correct. So I think I can find S5. Right? S5. And then the 6th question, you know why? He wrong. So when you wrong, what happened? You get 0 marks for that question. Then what about the 7th question? The 7th question he told. But the 7th question, you have to plus 3 lah. Because 6 question, okay, Q1, Q2, Q3, right? So imagine the Q4, Q5, Q6, Q6, Q7. This one wrong, right? So the total marks accumulated here will be S5, but the Q6 here you get 0 marks. And then the Q7, you only get 3 marks because the previous question is wrongly answered. Yeah, the last question 6 is wrongly answered, you only get 3 points. Yeah, it means like you start over lah. You start over like that. That's why it's you just do S5 plus 3 lah. Well, actually, it's S5 plus 0 plus 3, but 0 tak payah lah. So that's the plan now. Okay, what is the SN formula? Okay, SN formula ada dua. Ada dua. Satu, kalau bawah 1 minus R, atas A 1 minus R power N. Another one is, kalau bawah R minus 1, then sini A R power N minus 1. Okay, so which one you will use? Depending on your R bigger than 1 or smaller than 1. Kalau you punya R smaller than 1, use this one. Kalau R bigger than 1, use this one. Okay, your R is 2 now, so it's bigger than 1, so we guna yang ni. So dia akan jadi line tambah 3. So R minus 1, R is 2, so 2 minus 1. So atas will be A, which is 3 bracket 2 power N, 2 power 5 minus 1. Okay, now boleh tekan kereta, dapatlah jawapan nanti. Okay, tambah 3. Okay, 2 minus 1 is 1, so tak payah. 2 power 5, 32, minus 1, 31. 31 times 3, 93. And then 93 plus 3, 96. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, let's do B. In the second round, tadi first round lah. Sekarang second round. The first contestant to reach at least, okay, at least means bigger equals. Total point of 10,000 will be declared as the winner of the round. If both contestants answer the second round question wrongly, or second question wrong, determine the minimum number of questions need to be answered by the contestant before being declared as the winner of the second round. Okay, let's try to. Okay, so question 1 correct. So you get 3 marks for that. Question 2, both wrong. So you get 0 marks for that. And then question 3, you start over lah, because if the previous question wrong, then you will not you will start over 3 already. And then question 4, you will be 6, and then question 5 will be 9 marks, and yeah, it just keeps going, right? But the soalan already say you cannot use the listing method, so that's why I just list a few only. Yeah, I just list a few to make you understand. So I will do the full working now. So the first contestant to reach 10,000 points. So obviously I have to do Sn bigger equals 10,000, right? But it has to be from here because this is my T1, right? Wait, let me think. Will be declared as the winner if both, okay, both also get the question wrong. Both also, eh? Determine the minimum number of questions need to be answered by the contestant before being declared as the winner of the second round. Okay, this is T1, T2, T3, right? So we can do Sn, yeah, because the total point. So Sn bigger equals 10,000. But later your n have to plus 2. Because if when your n is 1, it will be 3 question. When your n is 2, it's 4 question. N is 3, is 5 question. But to get the number of question, you have to take the n plus 2. Yeah. So later, after you get your n from here, you have to plus 2 to get how many questions? Because there's the first two, plus with the first two questions to get the total question. Yeah. Because your T1 start from here. Understand? Alright, so let's find the n first. Okay, what formula? Same like just now. Bawah akan jadi r minus 1. And then atas akan jadi a r power n minus 1. Yeah, because your r is 2, so 2 minus 1. And then 3 is the a. And then r power n is 2 power n minus 1 lah. Okay, I'll try to find my n here. Okay, I feel like the n would be like a ugly answer. It means like the answer cannot change to fraction one. Okay, tak apa. 2 minus 1 is 1. So over 1 tak payah tulis. So you just left with 2 power n minus 1. The 3 can bring there, become 10,000 over 3. And then pindah the 1 jadi plus 1. It means plus 3 over 3 lah. So 1, 0, 0, 0, 3 over 3. Okay. Now, how to find n? Okay. When you have single base on both sides, you check whether they can change to same base or not. If you can change to same base, then it's good because with the power you can compare and then get the answer lah. But if you can't change to same base, then you have to tambah log both sides. And this one memang tak boleh tukar same base because this is like a fraction. Yeah, so confirm cannot one. Confirm this one cannot change to base 2. So you have to tambah log both sides lah. And you have to tambah log what base? Okay, usually we will use base 10. Okay. Sometimes we use base E, but they want only when our question has the natural log, maybe has the symbol E or maybe have ln, then only we use log base E. Okay, but this one you use base 10, so 2 power n, and then the power you can move it here, and then bigger equals 10003 over 3. Okay, I'll continue here. Now I will find my n. So I will press this one, divide this one. Okay. So I'm gonna press now log base 10, 1003 over 3, divide log 2. Okay, in 4 significant figure, the answer is 11.70. Okay. Now for the symbol, is it bigger or smaller? Bigger equals, because I never divide negative. When I divide negative, I have to terbalikkan this symbol, right? Okay, I divide by log 2 and log 2 is positive. Yeah, because if you tekan log 2 by itself, if you tekan log 2 separately by itself, you get positive number. Okay, when will you get negative? When you tekan log 0 point something. Yeah, you can try now. You tekan log 0 0.1, 0 point any number, you get negative. So when you divide with the log 0 point something, then you have to tukar tempat ni. I mean tukar tempat pula. You have to terbalikkan lah. Because you divide by negative. Okay, now we are done already. So we can write our n. Okay, n is the bilangan. So I don't think bilangan can have decimal. So we have to either write 11 or 12 lah. We have to write integer. So let me tell you, you write 12. Because the solution, the answer has to be bigger or equals to 11.7. So definitely cannot be 11. Because 11 is still smaller than this. So you have to choose a number that is bigger or equals than this. So it should be 12. 12 is the answer here. But wait, we have to find out the number of questions, right? Yeah, determine minimum number of questions need to be answered. So n is 12, but the question is not 12. Because you remember just now when the n is 1, it's 3 questions. When the T2 is the 4th question, because the first 2 questions I skip already. So the number of questions should be 14 lah. So I write here minimum number of questions to be answered so that it will be declared winner will be 14. Yeah, that's the answer. Okay, let's just write the unit. The unit is just questions lah. Okay, sudah siap. That's all. Okay, number 14. Let's go. What chapter is this? Other fx, other gx. So form 4 chapter 1 lah. So very obvious. Okay, given that fx is 5x plus 4. Alright, gx is negative 8x minus 3. Okay, find number 1. The value of m if this one equals to this. Yeah, this one easy lah. Just find fm plus 2 on this side. Okay, what is the meaning of f bracket m plus 2? It means you take the m plus 2, ganti masuk dalam fx punya x. So your fx is 5x plus 4, and then the x you just ganti with the m plus 2. That's on the left side. So 5 times m is 5m, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. Okay, done. What about the right side? 1 over 2 times g negative 7. Ah, yeah, this one easy lah. Just take the negative 7 sub into gx punya x. So gx is negative 8x minus 3. And then the x you just sub negative 7. So it'll be 1 over 2 times with, okay, press this whole thing in your calculator, you get 53. Now you get 5m plus 14 equals 53 over 2. Now 5m equals 53 over 2 minus 14. Let me press, okay, 25 over 2. Now divide by 5, you will get 5 over 2. You can use your calculator to help you. Alright, now for question 2, they want to find G inverse and then square and then X. It means they want you to find G inverse X. But you have to have G inverse first. And you don't have it now. So let's find G inverse first. Okay, so how to find G inverse? We have to find it from the Gx. So negative 8x minus 3. Okay, to find G inverse, the method I always teach my student, let both sides equals to y. So Gx equals to y, and the other side also equals to y. Okay, and then find x from both sides. Okay, to find x here, the G, when you hanta, it becomes G inverse y. G inverse y. It means I will try to find x from here because x is G inverse y. Okay, so how to find x? Let's see. Okay, I pindah minus 3 jadi y plus 3, but here left with negative 8x. And then pindah the negative. And when you pindah negative, you left with negative y. Because when you pindah negative means tukar tanda for both the two terms. And then divide by 8 will be negative y minus 3 over 8. But x is your, okay, now you define x. Now you can write it G inverse y because x is G inverse y minus 3 over 8. But we have want the G inverse x. So just change to G inverse x lah. Okay, so it will be negative x minus 3 over 8. Okay, there will be no undefined case for this because dia punya x tak ada duduk bawah. Okay, so now we can focus on finding the G inverse square x. So dia akan jadi G inverse big bracket G inverse x like that. Okay, yang dekat luar biarkan dulu, kena buat dalam dulu. So dalam G inverse x boleh masuk negative x minus 3 over 8. Now dalam tak boleh buat, ganti masuk dalam G inverse x punya x. So dia akan jadi negative x minus 3 over 8. And then sub one more time like this. Okay, what is negative? Negative x is x. Negative 3 is plus 3 over 8 minus 3 over 8. Oh my god. What is this? Okay, I need space. Bam. Bam. Alright, so okay, I can atas ni I can jadikan single fraction. So it becomes x plus 3, and then the negative 3 I will times with 8. Because when I do that, then I can write it, because then it becomes like this already, over 8 and then over 8. Okay lah, but the over 8, I think I will just write it like this. Okay, so now it becomes x minus 21 over 8 is over 64. Done lah, that's the answer lah. Yeah, you cannot simplify this already. So yeah, that's the answer. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, buat B pula. Function f is defined by fx is modulus 4x minus 9. Okay. Sketch the graph of fx for x between negative 3 and 6. Okay, another sketch question. Okay, this is the second sketch question already in this paper. Just now also got one sketch question, right? But just now that one is the trigo one. You remember the cost graph just now? Question number, okay, let me find for you. Question number 10, is it? Yeah, number 10, you remember? This one sketch. But this one is draw. Yeah, so they actually ask you to use the Scala, give you graph paper lah. But I think for this question, they never give you graph paper. Yeah, because they say sketch. Sketch means you don't have to follow the exact Scala lah. Right? Okay, so let's sketch lah. Alright. Whenever we do sketching question, okay, just now when I teach you the trigo, what I said. When you do sketch, what I said you have to know the shape before drawing. And then after knowing the shape, you have to know the point, the coordinate. And then baru boleh dapat sketching yang betul. Betul? That's what I said when I sketched the trigo graph, right? Guess what? For this function punya graph also same. You also need to know the shape. After knowing the shape, you have to know the points. Then baru boleh dapat graph yang betul. Okay, let's talk about the shape first. So the shape will be a V shape. It will be like tajam-tajam like that. And you can use the ruler for this because it's a straight line. Because this equation is actually y equal mx plus c. Can you see? The m is 4, c is 9. But with the modulus, that means the part below the graph will reflect up. Yeah, you learn this in trigonometry. because when you do modulus, what happens is the graph below x-axis will reflect up. Okay. Okay, so with that being said, now we can find the points, right? Okay, for the points, you can draw a table. Okay, but if you don't draw table, also those also can. Up to you lah. Actually, I very lazy one to draw table. But I'll just draw it lah. Okay, okay. So table like that, and then this one is x y, or you can write x fx also can. Same thing lah. Y and fx is the same. Okay, now we have to find some points, right? Okay, they got give us the range for the domain. This is called the domain, the x range. It means they want the first point x coordinate to be -3, and then the last point here to be 6. So we have to find out the first point and the last point, because they already put the restriction. They want us to draw from -3 to 6. And what other important points you want to find is the x0 and the y0 lah. Yeah, for this type of graph is like that. But for the trigonometric graph, you never find x0, y0, right? Okay, x0 ada lah, tapi y0, yeah, we don't. That one is different lah. That one is different. Okay, that one you mostly sub with the angle, like the pi, 2 pi, 180, all those values. But for this function graph, you usually find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. And if it's a quadratic, you better find one more point, which is the turning point. But the one only if it's a quadratic. But this is not quadratic. This is a straight line. So straight line tak ada. Ya, tak ada quadratic. Tak ada turning point lah. I mean, the only important point is this. But this one, you will get it from the y0. Because when you sub y0, you are finding this already. And then when you sub x0, you're finding this. So with these 4 points, you can get your graph already. Okay, let's sub f bracket x equals modulus 4x minus 9. So this one, you have to sub with -3. So it becomes -3 times 4, -4 minus 9, -21, modulus 21 lah. Okay, now repeat the same step, but with 0. 0 times 4, 0, 0 minus 9, modulus -9, 9. Okay, done. Now repeat this with positive 6. Yeah, this one, right? Okay, 6 times 4, 24, minus 9, 15. Modulus 15 also, so 15 lah. Alright, for the final one is you have to sub y equals 0. Okay, this one have to do a bit working. So it should be modulus 4x minus 9 equals 0. Yeah, because it's the whole y equals 0. And then find x. Pindah modulus. Okay, pindah modulus ada dua jawapan, satu plus, satu minus. Tapi kosong tak ada plus minus. So just write kosong saja. And then x equals 9/4 lah. Okay, so 9/4. Okay, I think it's better I change to decimal. Because later I have to sketch. I need to know where's the 9/4. So let's change to decimal. Okay, my calculator give me 2.25. So now I know it's in between 2 and 3 like that. Okay, now we can sketch already. So start with the y-axis. Let's go. Y-axis. Okay, should I draw down here or here? Okay, I'll just draw down here. Okay, when we draw the y-axis, we have to check where should we draw first. So should we draw in the middle or the left or the right? So you can see when you draw y-axis, you kena tengok you punya x value. Yeah, when you draw y-axis, you nak tahu draw tengah or left or right, you tengok you punya x value. So your x value paling besar is 6, paling kecil is -3. That means you have to your y-axis should be center but slightly to the left. Because later you have to use until -3 on the left side, and then on the right side you have to use until 6. So there should be more space here lah, basically. And then now you can start labeling with the highest y value. So the y value ada apa? Ada 21, 9, 0, 15, right? Okay, I know the question never said have to use scala, but I will create my own scala myself. Okay, so 21, 9, 15. So, kebetulan all these numbers are all multiples of 3. So I think I can jadikan 21 the highest point, and then -3, -3, -3, -3 lah. Okay, so 3 times 7 is 21. So this is 3 times 6, 3 times 5, 3 times 4, 3 times 3, 3 times 2, 3 times 1, 3 times 0. So that will be a 0. Okay, but there's nothing down here, right? Yeah, there's nothing down here. So I think I can make it like so 3 times 6, 3 times 5, 3 times 4, 3 times 3, 3 times 2, 3 times 1, 3 times 0. Okay, this looks better. Okay, but we only end up using the 9 and 15. So I will not write for everything. I will just make sure I write for the 9, which is here, and then 15. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to write all the numbers. If you want to write, can also lah, but I don't like to write everything because it will look very messy. Yeah, I want my graph to be simple. Yeah. Okay, now for my x-axis, only label the important points. So you have -3, and then here you have 6. So I think this side have to be long a bit, but the other side is just no need to be so long lah. Okay, -3 here. So I think I can go maybe 1, 2, 3. Yeah, maybe you just go 1, 2, 3. Okay, how I should put the length? Lebih kurang macam ni lah. And then 1, 2, 3 like that. This one negative 3, right? And then here will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, for sketch question, you can just lebih kurang one, but try to make it like logic also lah. Make it balanced. Okay, 2.25 will be somewhere. Okay, this one is 1, 2, 3, right? 2 and 3 middle is 2.5. So I guess 2.25 is like roughly here. Yeah, it doesn't have to be accurate. Doesn't have to be accurate. It's a sketch question. Okay, now we can plot negative 321. That's gonna be here. 0, 9, that's gonna be here. 9, 0, 4, 0, that's gonna be here. 6, 15, that's going to be here. And then now just take your ruler and then join. And you should get a V-shaped curve, right? Okay, as you can see, it's not very perfect. And the reason is very obvious because I never used a ruler to measure just now, and I never use graph paper. So what I can do here, I can just bring this 9 down a bit lah. And then can already lah. Now touch already. Okay, so y equals to what? Modulus. I forgot. What's the equation? 4x minus 9. Okay, actually I should write fx. Better lah. Better to write fx. Yeah, better I just follow the question. And then the y also is better. I should just I follow them. Okay, but it's the same thing lah. Y and fx is the same. Okay, usually after they ask you to sketch the function graph, they will ask you to find the range. But this question never ask for that. But let's just assume they ask for the range. So how will you do it? Okay, the range will be the y punya range lah. So it will be 0 to 21. Okay, so that means you have to write fx and then in between 0 to 21. Itu kalau dia tanya lah, tapi dia tak tanya kan. Okay, but I mention it also lah because they might ask in your SPM nanti. Okay, sudah siap. Now question 2. Make a conclusion for the object if fx equals negative 8. Give a reason for your answer. Okay, this one is still the same question, so you will be using the same function to do, which is fx equals modulus 4x minus 9. Well, I'll tell you now straight away. If you want to find object, if it means the image is negative 8. Yeah, that's what it means. Fx is image, right? So if the image is negative 8, what's the object? Well, actually there will be no answer. There will be no answer because if you look at your graph, negative 8, when your fx is negative 8 is here, right? And if you tarik to the left or you tarik to the right, there's no graph here. That means there's no solution. Yeah, there's no answer. Okay, but I feel like I have to show the working. Yeah, I feel like it would be better if I show the working, right? Okay, so I will take the whole function equals to negative 8 and try to find x. And you realize you cannot do this, you cannot continue. There will be no solution. Why is it like that? Because, let me ask you, modulus, what will give you negative 8? Tak ada jawapan. Tak ada jawapan. Okay? Because when you modulus negative number, you get positive. When you modulus positive, you get positive also. So what number I can put here that can make sense? Nothing. Because modulus what give you negative 8? Tak ada jawapan. But what if this one is 8? What if this one is 8? Then you can take the dalam punya equals to 8 and negative 8. You know why? Because modulus negative 8 will give you 8, and then modulus 8 will give you 8. So you can take the whole thing inside, which is the 4x minus 10 equals 8 and negative 8. But if this is negative 8, there will be no answer. Because tak kisah you modulus apa pun, you takkan dapat negative number. Yeah. So that's why I write here no solution. Okay. But they say make a conclusion and also give a reason, right? So the conclusion is no solution. Yeah, that's the conclusion. But for the reason, okay, kalau saya, I'll write like this. Because object of negative 8 does not exist. Yeah, does not exist. As the whole graph is above the x-axis. Above the x-axis. Or you can also write fx has to be range between 0 and 21. Yeah. So you can write like that also, like they can understand already. Remember just now I talked about the range. Your fx has to be right in between 0 and 21, right? Yeah, just now, because just now after I finished my part 1, I mentioned about the range. Because I said usually the question they will ask you to find range after you sketch. So I mentioned briefly about it. So the range has to be in between here. But if the fx is negative 8, it's already outside the range. That is why you get no solution. Yeah. So because object of negative 8 does not exist as the whole graph is above the x-axis. Or you can also say object of negative 8 does not exist as fx in between 0 and 21. Can also. Okay. So I'll just leave it like that. Hope you understand my explanation. Okay, let's continue. Okay, finally, last question. Let's finish it. Okay, what chapter is this? dy dx. Okay, from 5 chapter 2. Okay, this is differentiation. Okay, let's read. Diagram 8 shows the part of the curve y equals 4 over x. Where is it? Okay, this one. Okay, this is called a reciprocal graph. Reciprocal. Dalam bahasa Melayu, salingan. Yeah, salingan. When your x turut bawah, x power negative, this graph is called reciprocal. Okay, this curve is called reciprocal. And the straight line y equals hx. Okay, this is the straight line. Boleh. And they intersect at the point P, right? Okay, but they never give us the point P. It is given that the straight line is a normal to the curve at point P. Oh, this line is the normal line at point P. Okay, what is normal line? Normal line is a line that is perpendicular to the tangent line. Eh? At the same point, point P. So let's draw out the tangent line. Because dy dx is dy dx dia punya kawan bayar is gradient tangent. Okay, so something like that. Okay, not very nice. Beat down a bit like this. So the tangent line is a line that touches the curve, but only at one point. Only at one point. And the point is point P. Okay, let me make it like 90 degree also. Okay, so this red color one is the tangent line. And it should be 90 degree. It should be 90 degree. Okay, so and then the straight line is a normal to the curve at point P. So yeah, straight line is normal to curve. Okay, boleh faham. Alright, let me give you the notes for tangent normal. The notes, the nota. So when you have y equals to something and they will give you a point here, and this point has to be the tangent point. In this case, it's point P. Let's say they only give you the x coordinate, but they don't give you the y coordinate. What you can do, okay, first you can find dy dx and you'll get something new here, and that thing we call it GF. GF stands for gradient function or gradient curve, right? And in order to find the gradient tangent, you stick the two sub inside and you will get the MT. And after you get your MT, you get your gradient normal. Just take -1 divide with MT because they are perpendicular. And after you get your MT MN, you can get your equation now. Y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1 to get the equation tangent or equation normal lah. But the point the for the gradient you can just muscle this gradient right here, but for the x1 y1 you have to muscle with this point, right? But imagine if they only give you the x coordinate, then you sub into the original equation to find the y. Yeah, this is the notes that I always teach using these notes. Okay, so I'm sure I'll be using this later. Okay, but let's see what the A wants. Okay, the A wants us to show that the dy dx equals to this by using first principle. All right, I want to find dy dx. Okay, but you cannot use the regular method. The regular method is you just take 4x power -1 and then power darab depan and then power -1 like that, -4x power -2 and then blah, 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 blah. Okay, siap. But you cannot do like that because they say using first principle, right? So the first principle method is a bit slow one. You cannot do like that. So what you have to do is first write down the y equals 4 over x. Now you have this one you have to remember lah the step. Yeah, there's no other way. So the first principle method you will change the y plus delta y and the x change to x plus delta x like this. Okay, and then next the y you sub with the 4 over x. Okay, sub with the 4 over x, and then write the whole. Okay, this one is delta x. Sorry. Okay. Okay, now you have to try to potong the 4 over x, but you cannot potong like this because the other plus delta x dekat sini, so tak boleh potong. So what you're gonna do is you pindah this to the other side, and then simplify further, and then try to find chance to potong. So dia akan jadi 4 over x plus delta x minus 4 over x like that. Okay, and now we try to jadikan single fraction, and I'm sure later mesti boleh potong. So the denominator I will jadikan x plus delta x lah. Because I want the denominator same. So this one I will times x, but this one I will times x plus delta x. So in the end, when I combine, it will become like this. Okay, so atas pun kena darab x, so become 4x. Yang -4 ni dia darab dengan x plus delta x, so -4x. But when you multiply with two terms, the other term also have to, the negative will go into the second term also, so -4 delta x like that. Okay, now can cut it. So left with this. Okay, we will try to find delta y, delta x. Because when we do first principle, we will use this formula. dy dx equals to limit delta x approaching 0 for delta y, delta x. So what's the meaning? you will try to find delta y, delta x first, and then sub the delta x with 0 to get the dy dx answer. Okay, so how to find delta y, delta x? Okay, this delta x duduk atas. So when you pindah to the other side, dia akan duduk bawah. So now left with -4 over x plus delta x. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because I want to find dy dx. And dy dx is equals to limit delta x approaching 0 for delta y, delta x. It means if I want to find dy dx, I simply just take the delta y, delta x answer and then sub the delta x is 0. So it becomes x bracket x plus 0. So you just get -4 over x square. And that's the answer already lah. Yeah. So it's already similar, right? Okay, so just write shown. Because they say show, right? So I write shown. Yeah, that's all. Sudah siap. Okay. Okay, now let's see B1. Oh my god, not enough space. Alright, given that the normal line is parallel to the straight line connecting A and B. Oh, got AB. Did I miss out? Oh my god, I didn't even notice. Yeah, just now when I observed the diagram, I didn't even notice there's an AB here. So they said the normal line is parallel to AB. So I'll put arrow like this. It means AB and the normal line parallel. So AB line and the normal line same gradient lah. But we still don't know the gradient normal yet. So let's keep reading. Oh, they give it the coordinate. Okay. Good. 0, -1, and one more is what? 1, 3. Okay, 1, 3. Okay, this one 1, 3. Okay, now what? Find the coordinates of P. Find the coordinates of P means find this one lah. Means find the tangent point lah. Okay, to find this point, first you need to find gradient tangent first. You know why? Because your gradient tangent will be your dy dx. Because you remember just now I said, right, from my notes I say already, how do you get gradient tangent? You will take the tangent point punya x coordinate ganti dalam you punya dy dx to get the MT. So now you have to cari balik this, right? So what you have to do is you find the gradient tangent first, and then you equal to the dy dx. Means you buat balik lah. You reverse. So after you get your MT, you equals to the dy dx to cari balik the x coordinate. And then after you get your x coordinate, you sub inside the original equation to find y. But sir, how to get the gradient tangent? Carilah gradient normal dulu. Tapi sir, macam mana cari gradient normal? Dia sudah cakap parallel with AB. So you cari gradient AB dulu. So gradient AB equals, they give it the coordinate already. So just do y minus y, -1 minus 3, divide 0 minus 1. So you get -4 or -1, which is 4. So that is your gradient normal. Well, actually it's the gradient AB, but since they are parallel together, so they have the same gradient lah. Now how to find gradient tangent? Well, -1 bahagi 4. Because when two lines are perpendicular, the m1 times m2 equals -1. That's why I said here, if the MT you have already, you can just take -1 bahagi MT to get the MN. So now you get your MT -1 over 4. Now what? Now take the whole dy dx answer, which is -4 over x square equals to -1 over 4. Because I told you already, the MT come from where? It comes from the x coordinate masuk dalam GF, masuk dalam dy dx. That's how you get it. But sekarang you tak ada x, you nak cari x sekarang. So you equal macam tu lah, and then find x. Okay, darab silang. Okay, the negative can just ignore because negative, positive. So x square times 1 is x square, 4 times 4, 16. So your x will be 2 answer plus minus square root 16. Wait, that means got 2 answer plus minus 4, right? 4 or x equals -4. Okay, whenever I get 2 answer, I'm always suspicious because I don't know which one to take, and I don't know, or maybe I should take both, right? So if you're not sure, just scroll up and then try to sub inside and see which one makes sense. So you can see point P is here, and the x is clearly positive because it's on the right side. So obviously I have to reject the -4 and take the 4. Now find the full coordinate. I still have to find the y, so just sub into the original equation. This is not the original one. Wait, where's the original? This one, 4 over x. So it's 4 over 4. So it's y equals to 1. So now you have a point P, which is 4, 1. So done. That is your answer for this question. So rupanya your P is 4, 1. Okay. Okay, finally, second question. Find the equation of tangent at point P. This one just do the full step here lah. Just go like that, go like that, go like that, go like that, and then go here. Okay, but the road you take will be like this, like this, like this. Bukan macam tu. Kalau you pergi macam tu is for equation normal. Okay. They want equation tangent, so just go like that. But actually, you don't have to do this already. You have already. Your dy dx is -4 over x square, and then the x you will sub with the x coordinate, which is 4, right? Okay, so you continue from there. Okay, I need space lah. Okay, I'll just do it up here lah. Okay. Alright, so macam mana tadi? you just start from here because you already have all this already. So the dy dx is negative 4 over x squared. But you're finding equation tangent, so you need your mt. And the way to do that is you sub with the point tangent point coordinate, which is 4, 1. Okay, point P, right? 4, 1. Just now I find it. So you sub inside, bam, it becomes negative 4 over 4 square. And the moment you sub in, you become empty already. So it becomes negative 4 over 16, which is 1 over 4. So that's your empty, negative 1 over 4. Well, actually, yeah, you also have that already. Yeah, I don't know why I'm doing it again. Okay, and then just use the formula y minus y1. Okay lah. Okay. So y minus y equals gradient x minus x. But the gradient is negative 1 over 4. Okay. And then for the y minus y, x minus x, you have to masuk point yang passes through, which is the point P also lah. The point P also lah. Which is 4, 1. So you become y minus y, so y minus 1, and then x minus 4. So now it becomes y minus 1. Okay, this one expand, become negative 1 over 4x. Negative times negative, positive 4, we have 4, 1. So you become y equals negative 1 over 4x. Plus 1 is plus 2. So that's the answer. Right? Okay. Am I done with the whole question? Yes. In fact, I'm done with the whole paper. Actually, this is the final question. All right. If you all want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to gain early access, if you're interested to gain early access, you can join my member. Yeah, just click join on the channel, or you can just click the link in the description. All right, that's all for this video. I hope it helps some of you out there to revise, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye bye.